about to renew a rugged rivalry. College football in the East has always had a personality germane to the region. It's a workmanlike attitude where an honest day's effort never goes unnoticed. For a century's time, players at Pittsburgh and Syracuse have been the embodiment of that ethic. Names like Swartzwalder, Ditka, Walton, and Brown. Images of strength, images of excellence. Syracuse Dick McPherson has built on those images, and the Orangemen have re-emerged on the national scene. To the table they bring power and strength. Tonight they plan to give Pitt their full. But these Panthers of Mike Gottfried possess power of their own, and many feel their time has come. For both teams, it's step number one in their quest to be the Beast of the East. ESPN's College Football Saturday presents live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Orangemen of Syracuse, number 10 ranked in the nation, against the Panthers of Pittsburgh, ranked number 13. Hello, everybody. I'm Ron Franklin, and welcome into another Saturday evening. Well, the final remnants of Hurricane Hugo passed through western Pennsylvania just last evening. And in fact, the rain ended at about 2 o'clock this afternoon, with the weatherman saying a slight chance of sprinkles tonight, and the temperature is going to be down in the 30s. Kevin Kiley is with me again on the telecast tonight. And Kev, as far as the rain is concerned, I have the feeling that these two ball clubs not only don't care if it rains, I don't think they would know if it rains. They just want to hit one another.
Yeah, I'll say that. I can agree with you there, Ron. Hurricane Hugo may be tame compared to what we're about to see here. It's going to be a battle of the big guys. And if you want beasts of the East, folks, we've got beasts of the East aplenty for you tonight here at Pitt Stadium. Pitt's defensive line deep and talented and led by two great tackles, Mark Spindler and Tony Syracuse. And they're going to go up against maybe the finest offensive line in the nation, certainly one of the best Syracuse has ever had. John Flannery, the center, Turnell Sims, the tackle, and Blake Bednar's the guard, and they lead a very powerful offense. It's a tractor pull. Whoever wins the battle up front will win this game.
Well, now, speaking of line play, it is extremely important for the Panthers of Pitt because they have a redshirt freshman quarterback in Alex Van Pelt who is going tonight. He's going to need all the protection he can find.
Yeah, good point. And a terrible blow to the Pitt team when they lost Darnell Dickerson, their great junior quarterback. He had to leave school. But they have Paul Hackett. You see him there with Alex Van Pelt. And these two guys are just about moved in together. And Hackett is giving him just about everything he can, helping him along, the young quarterback, getting him to the point where he can run this offense. He's had early success, Alex Van Pelt, but this is the best defense he's faced so far, and how he plays will be a big key here.
Well, how does Coach Mack look at it from Syracuse? He looks at it as a heavyweight bout. He said, hey, guys, round one, 7:08 tomorrow night. That's kickoff time. He also made a good point. He said we're going to know a lot more about Eastern football at the conclusion of this one this evening.
Well, I'm from the East. I love Eastern football. This is rock'em sock'em. Bring your leather helmet. Forget the face mask. A lot of these kind of noses you're going to see tonight. It's going to be a battle and a good one, and the team that comes out on top is going to have an edge in the East.
So the coaches are ready, the teams are ready, and here comes Syracuse. And out of the other tunnel, here comes Pitt. ESPN's College Football Saturday, Syracuse versus Pittsburgh, is brought to you by SkyTel. That great. And let's give you a rare opportunity. Let's go into the locker room. Here is part of his pregame talk.
Follow the plan. Remember I told you Boston College, a plan will take you to the win. Follow the plan. On offense, the plan will get you there. On defense, the plan will get you there. On special teams, it will get you there. No matter what happens, no matter how this game unfolds, follow the plan. That's the key. Smart and tough, number 3. Coach Balasange preached that to you on defense all week. Dumb and tough will not get it against a good football team. smart and tough.
Mike Gottfried just a couple of moments ago in the Panther locker room with part of his pregame talk. The weather conditions here in Pittsburgh, and as we said, thank goodness for no rain. The cloudy skies 49 now, but will be in the 30s before this ball game is over. Wind could be a factor at 20 miles an hour, 40% chance of more wet stuff, and the field conditions, well, here at Pitt Stadium, they are very good. Across the way, there he is, Coach Mack.
This guy is a great motivator from Syracuse, and what a job he's done in 9 years with the Syracuse team. He's turned this program completely around. They are a national power.
Van Horn ready to kick off for Pittsburgh. The two deep men for Syracuse. You saw them just a moment ago. David Walker wearing number 33 at the bottom of your screen. The man at the top of your screen was number 45, Kadri Ismail. And if the name is familiar, yes, it is his brother, who returned the two kicks last week for Notre Dame against the University of Michigan. Of course, the older brother is known as Rocket. He is known as Missile, averaging 33 yards per return. There's a good look at him. Very young, a very raw talent, and the coaches get extremely excited when they talk about number 45. Hand is in the air by Van Horn, and we are about to decide a very big one in Eastern football. We're underway. Ismail at the 4. Runs into a herd of players, crosses the 25 out to the 30-yard line. And here are the road handlers starting lineups for tonight's ball game. It will be Bill Schaar at quarterback. Behind him, he will have Michael Owens and Dwayne Kennan. Rob Moore and Rob Carpenter are the wide receivers. Andrew Dees is the tight end. John Flannery, the very fine center. This is a great offensive line. Gary McCummings at left guard. Blake Bednarz on the right side. Mike Bernard at left tackle, and Turnell Sims is at right tackle. We'll check that Pittsburgh defense after this opening play. Sharp fumbles the snap. They run a reverse. That's Carpenter. He wants to throw. Has a man wide open. Rob Moore, and he will score. "69 yards on the opening play, and Kevin, the snap from center was fumbled."
That may have helped the play. I think anything that distracts the defense is going to cost you, and this play is just a great call. The execution, not all that hot. You can see the Pittsburgh defense, heavy pursuit. Carpenter, a wide receiver to another wide receiver, and a great one, but this wasn't a matter of him getting loose. He was loose. Big play for Syracuse, obviously, on the first play of the game.
John Biscup to attempt the extra point. 5 of 6 on the year, and we'll elaborate on that story as the ball game goes on. Off to the right and no good. So a missed extra point after the Orangemen come up with a 69-yard touchdown play to open the ball game. There is the man who caught it, the great one, Rob Moore. And it was Rob Carpenter who threw it. He is a transfer from Notre Dame, set out last year.
Yes, he is. And I think from a defensive standpoint, that play will not really discourage you that much. It's a trick play on the first play of the game. What it does is put a lot of pressure on the young quarterback, Alex Van Pelt. He hasn't been on the field yet, and he's down 6-0.
A look at some of the Pittsburgh defensive players on the sideline. Ricardo McDonald, one of those defensive guys who was out there for one play and saw his ball club give up the long distance touchdown, and now we will see the Orangemen kick it back to Pitt. And in fact, not having a chance as Mike Gottfried paces the sideline. Didn't even have a chance to give you that starting defensive lineup for the Panthers. We'll do it on the next series. Now, the top teams the last 3 years in the nation. We all know that Miami has been so very good, but maybe you haven't followed Eastern football as closely as some. But look at that, 23-2-1.
Very quietly have become a very strong and a great program. under that man, Coach McPherson. He's done a brilliant job. And that was a brilliant call, a call from a man who's been in football for many years, who knew how aggressive Pittsburgh's defense was, and he turned it against them right away.
So Coach Mack goes into his bag of tricks. We laughed the last couple of weeks about Bobby Bowden having either a Ruski or something to come up with at any time of the ball game. At this time, it is a gentleman that, for the most part, you think of far more conservative.
He is a conservative coach, certainly offensively.
Biskup with the kickoff. This is going to come down to Israel at the 14. Out of the 38, 39-yard line. 24 yards on the return. Ismail on the return on the tackle. Alex Van Pelt will open at quarterback. Behind him is his running backs, Kervin Richards and Ronald Redmond. The wide receivers, Tootin and Truitt. The tight end, Lionel Sykes, a big junior college transfer. Sestilli will open at center tonight. He will be flanked by Chris Getz on the left. Dean Calaguar normally is the center. He moves to right guard. Matus is the left tackle, and Laborio, Mike Laborio, the right tackle. Back to throw, wide open is Tootin, and he will score. Folks, I'm sorry, we gave you the wrong opening tonight. We didn't say track and field, and we should have. Tit for tat as Alex Van Pelt throws to Tootin on a great fake, Kevin.
Absolutely. It's in-your-face football.
Brian Greenfield.
Frazier tries to put his ball club up by one. Low pass from center. They will try to throw. It is intercepted by Syracuse and down at the 4-yard line. So let's take a break and catch our breath. We haven't played but 32 seconds of football, and we are tied at 6. Syracuse and Pittsburgh. Who is the beast of the East?
The fiber that's pound for pound, 5 times stronger than steel, and is used in this bullet-resistant vest, makes up the unique.
College Football Saturday, Syracuse versus Pittsburgh, is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. And by Mitsubishi Big Screen Televisions. This game would look better on a Mitsubishi Big Screen. Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley back in Pittsburgh, and let's check out that last play.
Watch number 25, Rob Thompson, free safety, and watch Van Pelt's right hip. That's where the ball is. Now Thompson, even at this point, thinks it's a run. He takes a false step, and look at this throw by the young quarterback. Right over the shoulder of Tootin. There's no safety on the inside. He's wide open. It was the great fake, assist to Paul Hackett, and the first touchdown against the starting secondary of Syracuse in 12 and a half games, 50 quarters.
That's incredible. And that was a mark that man was extremely pleased with. You know, Kevin, for this to have happened in the first 32 seconds, it is kind of like a heavyweight bout with both fighters knocking the other down in the first half minute, isn't it?
Yeah, bloody their nose. Remember I said about noses? We've got a couple of bent noses already here.
Ismail, number 45. And the kick is going to come to the near side to David Walker as they keep it away from it. It is Ismail. Hit, bounces off the tackler, and is caught from behind as he goes across the 33-yard line. And let's take a look at the Pitt defense. Spindler and Siragusa are the defensive tackles. The defensive ends as they run for the 4-3, Keith Hamilton and Carney Smith. The middle linebacker, Craig Gobb, Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Curtis Bray and Ricardo McDonald. Alonzo Hampton and Robert Bradley, along with Dan Crossman and Lewis Reddick as the safety.
Offside against the receiving team. Re-kick with a 5-yard penalty.
Well, you don't see that very much to come across the 45-yard line, but That is what the flag was for, so they will kick it over again. That time Pittsburgh tried to kick it to the right, and the Orangemen had changed their plan and flipped him over to the other side.
I think one of the things that needs to be said is that Pittsburgh's offensive coordinator is now Paul Hackett, a fellow who's had tremendous experience, great experience at USC there for 4 years, the Browns, where he brought Paul McDonald from USC with him, the 49ers. He's learned under some great coaches, Bill Walsh there, and then the Cowboys for the last 2 years. He brings all that pro experience here to Pittsburgh, and I think you saw it. He's been literally tied to the young quarterback, has taught him a great many things, among them faking. And you saw that. You'll see a lot of short passing here. I really believe, even though they have a young quarterback, Pitt will throw the ball a tremendous amount in this first half.
Pat O'Neill will do it again as he tees it at the 40 this time. Again, Ismail is lined up to the near side, and David Walker will be to the top of your screen. Jeff Van Horn to kick it off. Down on one knee, and the Orangemen will scrimmage from their own 20-yard line. .67, almost 68% for 345 yards for Bill Schaar.
Very accurate passer, but not an option quarterback, and they do run the freeze option at Syracuse.
Flag down on the play. And the preliminary signal is personal foul against the Orangemen. As this one got off to a roaring start the first 32 seconds. And now back-to-back flags.
Hey! What the goddamn Tony? Hey, they didn't even sit. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike, against the receiver. It will be first down and 20.
Syracuse will scrimmage from their own 10-yard line. 2 penalties now against the Orangemen for 15 yards. Kennan, the fullback, goes for absolutely nothing, possibly a loss of a half yard on the play. Curtis Bray, outside linebacker on the left, Monroeville, Pennsylvania, is there to make the stop.
Number 93 may be the finest defensive tackle in the country. Look at the penetration and the strength, pushing the whole play back. Bray made the tackle, but you could see Spindler just pushing the Syracuse people back. Tremendous. You'll see a lot of this kid today. He's one of the best in the country.
To Owens, turns it upfield, out to the 13-yard line. Lewis Reddick, junior out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, is there to make the stop. A strong safety last year, and they have moved him over to the free safety position for this season.
3-yard gain.
Third down, and for Syracuse, they need the 30. Six defensive backs for the Panthers. Schaar over the middle, incomplete, looking for his tight end, Andrew Dees, and it will be fourth down and kicking time for Syracuse as Marcus Washington was the man there defensively.
Washington is the nickel back, but the key to that entire series was the penalty and the first down play of Spindler. Syracuse is not a team that wants to be in a passing situation.
Kenny Hawkins, his longest this year, 48, a good average, almost 44. And a single return man, Alonzo Hampton, is the All-American candidate at left corner for Pitt. They're coming after him, and in fact, they got a piece of it. They got a piece of it, and it is out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Mark Spindler, there you see him coming off the field, got a hand on it, And Pitt with great field position.
A lot of guys getting loose here. Watch the middle of your screen. Look for number 93. High snap. They're going to have to control this kid. He's loose up the middle again. Just almost knocked it back in his face.
Van Pelt, quick out pass, looking for his fullback Redmond. Just a bit overthrown. Spindler appeared to have almost overrun the ball just a bit. You're right, a half step back, and he might have blocked it back into the end zone. 6-6, that is right. 2 scores in the first 32 seconds of this ball game. Redmond, the fullback, off the left side, counts it inside the 25, and he's down to the 24. Tim Sandquist comes
Redmond,
up from
the ball
his
carrier.
strong safety position.
Tackle made by Rob Thompson.
Great blocking to the left side kept by Matus, and also Getz.
That is the strength, Ron, of the offensive line. They do have a little bit of a problem on the right side. That's why they moved Callagher out there. Now Syracuse reads into the backfield. They'll key on backs, and that time they use the tailback as a little bit of a misdirection. Misdirection is the key for Pittsburgh in the running game tonight.
Swing pass comes to Richard. Turns it upfield and will not have the first down at the 22-yard line as Terry Wooden, and you'll hear his name often tonight, number 90, the All-American out of Hartford, Connecticut, corrals him.
4th and 1.
Field goal attempt, and Ed Frazier, who is 3 of 3 on the year, will come in to attempt this one. It will be from in the vicinity of 39 yards. And in fact, from where he's spotting it, it's going to be 40.
40-yard field goal.
Doug Hetzler is the holder at the 30. Line drive kick, and we have broken the tie. 39 yards by that man, Ed Frazier. And the Pitt Panthers go on top at the 11:07 mark of this opening period, 9-6 over Syracuse. So let's take a break. 9-6, Pittsburgh on top. We'll be right back. The stadium tonight, I think we looked for a more conservative and lower point output ball game, but already 15 points up there with the Panthers now on top, 9-6.
Let me just make a point here. The play that Syracuse scored on was trickery. That's respect for the defensive line and the defense, and the same was true of Pittsburgh. It was a first down pass with a great fake. So really the respect, I think, for both defenses holds up. And then I think you can see Pittsburgh against Syracuse in the first series, they stuffed them. This will be a defensive game. And you got to settle down a little bit. The Beasts will take over.
Here's Ismail. And to his left, number 33, David Walker. So Jeff Van Horn following a personal foul. It was a post-play foul. So tacked on the kickoff at the 20-yard line, and Syracuse stands to pick up some very good field position. Ismail at the 17. Whoa, does he get cracked at the 45, and he brings it out to the 46. It's 29 yards on the return, and Holtzman, or Holtzworth rather, is there to make the stop. Here comes some scores from around the country. Other action in the NCAA. Let's go to Bob Carpenter. He's got some scores for us. Bob?
Hey, Ron, we've also got a highlight for you. Down in Tallahassee, Tulane playing against Florida State. And Peter Tom Willis up over the top, left side of the end zone. Lawrence Dawsey with a 30-yard catch. 3 plays, 73 yards, and Florida State leads it 10-0, Ron.
Well, Dawsey has really been on fire this year. Shard swings it out of the backfield. That's Owens. Runs into some hot pursuit, and he's going to be knocked down for a 2-yard loss. Ricardo McDonald, number 48, the sophomore out of Paterson, New Jersey, was the first man there to turn him in. Picture perfect.
That play showed right away. Again, the interior defensive pit. He had to throw it immediately, and that gave the rest of the guys time to get out there and make the play. They don't want Owens loose. in the flat.
That's a 5th pass that Michael has caught this year. He had 4 for 29 yards coming into this one. And the race continues. Not much time left. Quick out pass for the tight end. It is incomplete at the 39 as Andrew Dees. We had to wait for a moment. Still had a shot as he went to the ground. Couldn't hold on. Again, McDonald with the cover.
McDonald up on the last play to make the tackle, and then watch 48 on the coverage. This is not an easy play with the play action. Look at McDonald forcing him to make a perfect throw. Shar made the perfect throw. It's just a tough catch. Good defense and pretty good offense, too.
9-6 Panthers on top. Number 92, Keith Hamilton, will knock him down for a 9-yard loss.
They say he's got big playability, a true freshman, number 92, 275-pounder, and right away the fine offensive line of Syracuse is not handling the defensive line of Pitt. Turnell Sims is an all-star candidate. He was run over.
Kenny Hawkins, let's see if Pitt comes after him again. Up this time the Panthers had the return on good heavens. Good kick. Back to the 13-yard line. Hampton, he'll come out across the 25. Well, with Pittsburgh's tough schedule this season, we asked Coach Mike Gottfried if he changes his preparation in any way.
We've tried to focus in on every ball game and not pay attention to the schedule. If you look at our schedule, it drives you crazy. I vote for the UPI. I thought they said vote, not play the top 10. And we're going to play them. We're going to have a great idea who the best team in the country is before it's all over. But what we try to do is each week get ready for the team we're going to play and not worry about anybody else.
His Panthers lead by 3. Straight up the middle. First time that we've seen Irvin Richards tonight takes it for short yardage. The entire front collapses on him, but Terry Wooden, number 90, was the first man to get up and put a shoulder pad on him.
I need to make a point about what Mike said. They take them one at a time, but they have prepared for the option. The option gave them a problem, and since last spring, they have been playing against the option in practice, trying to get ready for it. This is an option team, Syracuse. Defensively, it was a nightmare for them.
Ball is fumbled. Van Pelt comes down on it at the 24-yard line. Let's take a look at the Syracuse defense. DeRiggi is the nose guard. The tackles, Rooks and Rob Burnett. The outside linebackers, Alvin Brown and Terry Wooden. The inside backers, Dan Busey and David Favaro. Greg Walker and Whiteman are the corners, and the safeties, Tim Sanquist and Rob Thompson. If you're asking Favaro, familiar name, yes, it is his older brother who plays for the Giants. Van Pelt, quick out ball. Does Tootin almost get his headgear taken off by Greg Walker? The third down pass. Tootin was right there for the reception, but Walker, who's only a sophomore out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania, came over to tag him good. Brian Greenfield, 66 yards, his longest. You can see the average. He has done a super job. Greg Walker in a single safety for Syracuse.
Greg Walker, deep for Syracuse.
Left-footed kicker. Takes a sip, bounces off the Syracuse player. It is recovered by Pitt. Robert Bradley, number 16, came up with the football.
This should never happen on a short kick, on any kind of kick you've got, and you never turn your back on the ball. I can't pick up the number, has a 2 on it. You never turn your back on the ball, even to block. You need to get away. Be aware of where the ball is. That was a big mistake, big error for Syracuse.
So Pitt with a 1st and 10 at the Orangeman 36-yard line, leading by 3. Van Pelt, looking pass, has it complete right over the middle to Truitt. And that is good for a Panther first down at the 25-yard line. Orlando Truitt. He's a freshman, 6'1", 190 pounds.
Again, Paul Hackett's influence, it really can't be overstated. Truitt, the inside receiver. Very simple pass for the quarterback. Short drop. Not much of a likelihood of being intercepted. Pitt executing very well.
Draw play, Adam Walker takes it down to the 22-yard line and then is covered up in orange and white. Pick a number. That will just about get it for you. As Busey, one of the first men there. Great compliment played to both Busey and Barbaro, that they are so very consistent. And Coach Mack said that's one part of his ball club he simply doesn't worry about.
Ron, they had 30 tackles between them last year against Pitt.
What was it Mike Eifert said? We simply cannot have those two guys with that kind of evening again. And I think that's fairly obvious. Timeout on the field with 6 minutes, 29 seconds left in this opening period. And the Panthers leading 9-6. Let's look at some other scores in college football. Ole Miss jumping in front. That's a great rivalry between the Southwest and the Southeast. Stanford has defeated the Ducks. Cal and Wisconsin, that one's now final. Golden Bears get a big one in. And Duke come out on top of Virginia.
That Dookie defense has to hold, though, and that's they've had a rough time so far this year.
Rob Barnett left the field under his own steam. You can see he's being attended to. 6'4", 265-pound senior. An All-American candidate. Knocked down at the 18-yard line. It's Dan Bavaro from that inside linebacking position. He has one sack of the year. You know, not only is his brother playing for the Giants, his dad played for San Francisco back in 60 and 61.
They too were studs. Pitt has rushed 5 times for 10 yards. They have had trouble rushing the ball. They didn't really expect to rush it against Syracuse, but they need it for balance.
3rd down. For the Panthers, they need the 15-yard line. That's Eric Seaman coming into the lineup, bringing a play, and with that, Pitt is going to have to call out a timeout to keep away from a 5-yard penalty. So there's a break in the action with 5:38 left in the opening period. We'll be right back.
I'll never forget 1958, the first overtime championship game ever played in the NFL. Unitas and the Colts, they beat the Giants 23-17.
And the Sporting News was there.
Hey, you want overtime? How about that 1982 playoff game? The Chargers over the Dolphins, 41-38. The most exciting game I ever saw.
And the Sporting News was there. Yes, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, or hockey, wherever the excitement is, the Sporting News is there, bringing you more complete coverage than any other sports weekly. Call now for the Sporting News at the lowest price anywhere, with convenient delivery right to your door.
Call 1-800-782-5700 and get 29 issues of the Sporting News for 4 payments of just $4.99. You'll save 69% off the cover price, 40% off the regular subscription rate. You can't get a better deal. Call now 1-800-782-5700. That's 1-800-782-5700.
Now that you know what it feels like to move in the MX-6 sports coupe, come sit in the saddle. The MX-6 from Mazda. It just feels right.
Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Great to have you along tonight, and this has been a super start. Both clubs scoring on their opening play. Running play with Redmond, and he will not be close to the first down. In fact, he might not have gained anything in the play, as Dan Busey from that inside linebacking spot is the first man to step up and make the hit on him.
two things here. Very difficult to run out of a single back against a team that reads into the backfield as Syracuse does. They're tough against the run. The other thing is in the hash marks, if you're going to set up a field goal with a running play, you would want to run it to the center of the field. They've run it now to the right hash mark and have to kick from the right hash mark.
35-yard field goal.
Frazier 2 attempts. Good on his first one of the night from 39. This one, an attempt of 35. Plenty of distance, hit the upright, and it is no good.
No good. Wide to the left.
So Frazier's attempt off to the left. ESPN's presentation of college football continues on Thursday night when Division I AA power Idaho will play host to Big Sky rival Montana. Barry Tompkins and Gene Washington will be there for all the action. That begins at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And also we'll get a chance to see Idaho's All-American quarterback, John Freeze. The pros like this young man. Syracuse stops the drive and from their own 20. It off to Owens, and you can see there is not much running room there. Jeff Esters, a sophomore out of Dania, Florida, steps up into the hole, number 97, to make the hit. The second team defense is on the field, and Kev, you might talk about this.
Well, Bob Belicente is the new defensive coordinator, and they are going to platoon their defense. They did it against BC. They won it 29-10, had great success. These are not 3 or 4 different players.
This is like hockey. Everybody came over the board.
Hockey. This is 11 guys. That's right. Came over the boards, and they're good. They're good. They're not much of a drop-off.
Sharp under pressure, and he will be sacked. Tom Sims, a senior out of Detroit, who had an interception last week, comes in with a quarterback sack.
Well, how good are they? Well, they're pretty good. Last week, Esters, or 2 weeks ago, Esters batted one to Sims, and Sims had an interception. Here he just blows through that fine line of Syracuse and gets the sack. The reason that they substitute Tom Sims for Siragusa or Spindler, he's a tackle, is because they want fresh people in there, and they want to press. Mike Godfrey does, like basketball, all over the field the entire game. They want fresh people. Looks like it's working.
Syracuse needs the 30. Draw play, ball is fumbled, and Pitt has recovered. Richard Allen on the football at the 1.
Are they fresh? You better believe they're fresh. Watch number 54. Mike Boynton, he reads it, pops the ball with his helmet. Now here comes Allen. Everybody on this team's coming off knee surgery, including Allen. No problem. He drops on the ball on the 1-yard line. 2 defenses, 2 turnovers.
Too tight in alignment, over the top, and touchdown, Dedrick Lewis. So the fumble by Kennan, and the Panthers need only 1 play to capitalize as Derek Lewis scores the touch.
Have your attention, please. Fans are asked, please, not to throw any objects onto the field.
You might have heard the public address announcer asking the fans not to throw anything on the field.
Please do not throw any objects onto the field.
We understand they are throwing oranges on the field.
I think we had this problem before. I think I said last year it's a good thing it's not the Syracuse Buffaloes.
Frazier is good with his kick.
Derek Lewis, 225 pounds, but he's small boned, so he can fly, and he does. There's no defense going to stop a guy who can get that high from the 1-yard line. Pittsburgh is in. Look at the blocking on the offensive line. This has been a problem, but they do just well enough to move him out, keep him low. Lewis has plenty of room to get up and over.
Great block by Sestelli, operating at center tonight. And Lewis scores the touchdown. It is 16-6. The Panthers have bolted on top, and we still have 3:12 left to play, opening period. The last 3 times that these ball clubs have met, it's been Pitt who made the mistakes. Tonight, it's the Orangemen who have gotten off to the rocky start.
I think you have to go back to the quarterback problems Pitt has had through the years. They have had a tremendously difficult time finding a starting quarterback here. Dickerson was their guy. He was gone. A lot of the takeaways or giveaways that they've had through the years have been because of that volatility in the quarterback position. And any improvement they make, you have to give to the young quarterback, Alex Van Pelt, and of course Paul Hackett, the coordinator. But we're not done yet, and you're looking at one of the finest coaches in the country there, Dick McPherson. He'll get him rolling.
Walker, number 33, Ismail on the other side, and that is Jeff Van Horn that you see. This is Ismail at the 8. Out to the 26-yard line. Prentice Wright on the special teams as we take a look at some other scores. Arkansas not only has an answer for Ole Miss, but 2 tallies on the board. Florida State out big over Tulane. Boy, Tech and South Carolina locked up in a good one, and Duke has added a field goal. Our score 16-6. The screen to Kennan, the fullback. 35 at the 40. He is free and is going to be knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line by Crossman. He was about the last man there. 29 yards to Dwayne Kennan.
Excellent call and excellent execution. Shaw right away to Kennan. Look, they let Spindler in. Then they drop the ball here to Kennan. Now Kennan gets a great block at the corner. And he's down the road. If not for Crossman, the converted running back, he'd have been all the way. That was Bednar's?
Yes.
Was that Bednar's made the block? Kinnan did the running. Good call, good execution by the Orangemen.
Owens with the pitch, going to be hit in the backfield, and he will be knocked down by Curtis Gray. Gray from here in the Pittsburgh area, Monroeville, 6'4", 235. And Owens, who wears that number for good reason. When they give you 44 at Syracuse, they expect big things.
Better get to running and keep running.
That's right.
When you're wearing 44. We're going to have to keep track of this for you. This, again, is the first team or the other team defense for Pitt. The team that started the game.
3 carries for Owens for 4 yards so far. The pass, he will not get it away. He is sacked, and it's 98 Syracuse as the first team defense is back on the field for Pitt. Oh my goodness.
And they are fresh. Tony Syracuse coming off major knee surgery. A kid who's had an awful rough year. Took him a year and a half, number 98, to get over this. One of the great tackles in the country before the surgery and coming back. His dad died last year. Came to Mike Gottfried, said, when are things going to get better? Mike said, don't worry, Tony, they will get better. Moments later, he was hit in the head with a football. Looked for Coach Gottfried and said, when? Now, Tony.
Shard going long, and it is complete at the 12-yard line to Carpenter. We paused for a moment thinking it might be intercepted. Alonzo Hampton had the cover. And Carpenter took it away from him.
Hampton, one of the fine cornerbacks in the country, number 3. Now Carpenter has thrown one, and this is just incredible effort by number 7. It's a jump ball. Either one could have gotten it. Shar threw it inside perfectly. Carpenter makes the grab, and here's Coach McPherson. Here we go. We're in scoring position.
Coach Mack says, okay. Owens, left side, at the 5, and he will score. So Syracuse with an answer, and with 1 minute left in this opening period, we are looking for the 29th point to be scored. Biscup to attempt the extra point. Missed his first tonight. This one he is perfect on. You know, Kev, you really can't say so much for the defensive battle because there has been some head knocking.
Well, watch Flannery, 53 at the line of scrimmage, and number 62, Turnell Sims. Here he comes, and here comes Owens. Says, I'll see you, Turnell. I'm going this way. And when you wear 44, as we said for Syracuse, Ernie Davis, Jimmy Brown wore it, Floyd Little wore it, and now Michael Owens. Take another look at this. From the side, you're going to see 62, big 62. Turn up. Owens gets his hand on him. And Owens goes in.
Turnell is 6'3", 285. Doesn't move like it, does he?
Yeah, supposed to have a bad knee. It's a good thing he doesn't have 2 good knees. They've given him the ball.
Michael Owens scored his 3rd touchdown of this young season.
I told you this would be a low-scoring game.
Well, the defense of Pitt on the other side of the field looking on. You know, the interesting thing is up to the score, the completion of the long pass, and Hampton was playing center field. He was looking for the interception, just had it taken away. Pitt had gotten to Syracuse quarterbacks 3 times already against an offensive line that is intact for the 3rd year, all 5.
And Syracuse, when Syracuse did get the big play, they got it against their best defensive back, Hampton, which is odd.
This is Israel at the 10. Israel with a header sweep out of the 30. He'll come out to the 33-yard line where Darrell Jones makes the tackle. Let's take a look at that scoring drive. 5 plays, 74 yards, just over 2 minutes. And Owens gets the tally. McPherson possibly breathing a little easier. His ball club's still trailing right now, 16-13. 54 ticks left on the clock. Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This time last night, we were really worried about bad weather for you. It was raining like the dickens.
You go Iden.
Van Pelt squares, overthrows. Henry Tootin was the man that he was looking for, and it got away from him just a bit. Not an easy pass going against the grain.
Van Pelt's a kid that has not a real strong arm. We talked to Paul Hackett, but what he can do is make the ball come down. He can throw into zones very well. He can get it over that first part of the zone, the underneath coverage, and make it drop in. He has talent, needs to strengthen the arm, and they expect him to be a fine quarterback.
Irvin Richards, second, it's Redmond. Not that it is Richards, I beg your pardon. All the way out to the 45-yard line before Rob Thompson comes over to make the stop. And that's a gain of 13 yards and a Panther first down.
One of the keys to this game is they're making Wooden play a tight end. They have 2 tights. They line up Lionel Sykes over the All-American linebacker, number 88. Look at the block. And then when Curvin gets the swerving, it could be real tough as he gets up the sideline. A wide play, the big block from the tight end. Pitt's most successful running play of the game.
Richards Richards again. Hole on the left side. That's where they like to run it, across midfield and down to the 49-yard line of Syracuse.
Alvin Brown made the tackle.
Alvin Brown coming up from that left outside linebacking spot. One of the first men to make the tackle. But it's the blocking of Batuz and Getz. A couple of seniors that they like to run behind. And it appears that Pitt will be comfortable with allowing the clock to run out to end the first period, which has seen more action than most thought we would see tonight.
At the end of the first quarter,
16-13 our score, so let's take a break as the Panthers are on top. We got a lot of time left. Van Pelt dumps it off to Redmond, and his fullback will be close to the first down, just inside the 45. Bavaro wrapped him up just as soon as he made the catch.
Watch how deep number 59 is. He's about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. See that? He's not even looking at running. He heads immediately for the sideline and is able to stop him. But I don't know whether he stopped him before he had a first down. Excellent linebacker play from an inside backer right there, David Bavaro.
Well, we mentioned the pennant race. Of course, not only will we continue to update you, San Francisco gets one back for the Astros, who had won last night in that big tough tussle out in the National League West. Come back with scores and highlights later on this evening. (16-13) our score. Pittsburgh leading over the Orangemen. On first down, this is Richards as a marker comes down, and it looks like it's going to be offensive holding against Pitt. Rob Burnett, the senior out of Coram, New York, steps up into the hole to make the hit.
It's on Caliguire, the center, Mike Gottfried center for Pitt. First down becomes extremely important, is important in any game, but very important when you have a young quarterback, as the man who did the holding. Caliguire has been moved from center to guard, back to center. In this game, he began at guard, he's back to center. The reason is he's a very fine lineman. They had a little trouble on the right side of the line, and they needed to get a stronger guy in there. Evidently, they feel that he's going to better serve them at center. But let me go back to Van Pelt. I really think that Van Pelt, a penalty like this really hurts him because he only has one interception. They don't want to put him in a position where he has to throw deep and that Syracuse knows he's going to throw. He's 5 for 6, 87 yards to this point.
Van Pelt has a man wide open at the 32, knocked out of bounds is Reggie Williams. His second catch of the year out of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania.
Here's what we talked about, dropping the ball over people. Watch 55, Busey, the linebacker. He's going to get deep, and look at Van Pelt. Oh, it's not 55, Busey, it's 37. Drops the ball right over him and into the zone. That was Tim Sandquist, the defensive back, that he dropped it over, and that's what he does very well. He drops it over the zone, and he's extremely accurate.
Van Pelt now with 100 yards passing. He's 6 for 8. Adam Walker spins off one tackler, and he will not get by the second as Brian LeBaron, a backup outside linebacker, comes up to make the stop on him on the 30, and that'll be a loss of a couple. Texas Tech at Oklahoma State there in the first quarter. Rice Owls trailing Southwest Louisiana in the second. San Jose winning over Pacific. Second period, Western Carolina on the short end of that one, 14-0, Appalachian State. We've got just over 13 minutes to play here in Pittsburgh, and what has been a great one. Van Pelt swings it out. That's Adam Walker. puts a head down to the 25-yard line, Greg Walker, and now a late marker comes back into the backfield. It was thrown toward Lionel Sykes, the tight end, and he was totally away from the play.
Personal foul is indicated against Pitt.
I don't know if you could hear what he said or read what he said, but he said 72 is Chris Getz, senior out of Jackson Heights, 6'3", 280 pounds.
What they're saying on the sideline is they're discussing
15-yard penalty.
Yeah, they're discussing the call, and Mike's discussing it with his assistant, Mike Gottfried, and they're saying he's just pass blocking. There's no foul. He's just pass blocking. 72 Blue Getz. That's not just pass blocking. That's a good shot, guys. He grabbed him in the hand with the face mask, and that is a personal foul. No need for it that far from the play, as you pointed out, Ron. That was quite a distance from the play.
So they'll repeat second down. And for Pitt, they had driven down to the 28-yard line, so they need the 18. The new line of scrimmage all the way back at the 47. Yet shovel pass right up the middle, fumbles the ball, scramble for it. Redmond trying to recover it. Syracuse says they have it. Let's see. Syracuse football.
It's a good call in this situation, almost like a draw. See that little shovel right there to Redmond, number 22. He has it, and then it's pulled out. And Syracuse will recover in the pile. Number 96, O'Rourke, his left hand, he gets a hold of the ball, and it's loose, and then Syracuse comes up with it again. Syracuse very sound defensively. Good play.
And it looks like George Rooks, number 91, who came down on the football for Syracuse. Owen slides his way up the middle to the 45. Keith Hamilton, the Frenchman out of Lynchburg, Virginia. 9 total tackles coming into this ball game tonight is the man who wraps him up. 16-13, Pitt on top. As Syracuse took the opening kickoff, and on the first play, Carpenter on a reverse took the ball and passed to Rob Moore for a touchdown. Pitt came right back with a distance job themselves to Henry Tootin, and we were tied at 6. Shar incomplete. Dwayne Kennedy's fullback had circled out Robert Bradley and picked him up in the coverage just about at the first down marker. There's got to be third down for the Orangemen at the 45. Possibly with an audible under pressure hit as he delivers the ball, and it's caught. Good heavens, Rob Moore. He has a vertical of 43 inches when high in the air, and he has it for 13 yards in the first down.
It was 42.5. Syracuse is going to be licking at the Shar's knees when he throws this ball. This is pretty good defense, a lot of pressure. You see McDonald or Bray coming from the outside. Carnell Smith along with him, then 42.5 inches there of the 43 for Moore to go up and catch it. Tremendous play.
It's one that doesn't necessarily show up in the stats, but it's huge, particularly if you get points off the try. Looking for Carpenter, has it at the 30-yard line and knocked out of bounds immediately. Number 5, Lewis Riddick. Comes over to bump him out, but it's a gain of 14 as the play action by Syracuse working nicely.
Riddick gave him plenty of room there, and in fact, Carpenter made 2 fakes, then finally just broke it off, and Shar, who is very accurate, they say maybe the most accurate passer ever at Syracuse, just waited and hit him, had plenty of time.
Tom Sims back at the ball game at right defensive tackle. Fullback straight ahead, not much there for Kenneth. Mark Spindler, the 6'5" junior out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, along with Ricardo McDonald.
Syracuse does not even have positive rushing yardage. Why? Watch 93. Holds him up, gets over there, and makes the stop for a yard or two. I mean, that's just super defensive tackle play. That's Bednarz trying to block him. He's getting lower than Bednarz, holding him up, able to see the ball carrier slide off and make the tackle.
Shar with the pass overthrown. Rob Moore, and you could see the timing of the play was thrown off with the defensive lineman getting through a little bit quicker than they wanted it.
There were blue shirts all over the place, but I thought Shar did a tremendous job with no room, just moving around in there to stay on his feet.
Keith Hamilton, number 92, is the man who was applying lots of pressure. You saw the numbers just a moment ago on Spindler, what he did last week. And of course tonight, besides what he has done as far as tackles, he partially blocked the punt back in the first quarter. Syracuse 3rd down. They need the 20. Inside linebacker blitz is on, and Gobb will get him. Craig Gobb, a junior out of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania.
For so many years, it was Jerry Osofsky was a fixture, but watch the right side of your screen. The heir to Osofsky, number 46, Craig Gobb. They never saw him. Turnell Sims was occupied, as was everyone else, and here they come. Bednarz.
Look how the tackle
Sims,
takes him
the
inside.
tackles, that's right, exactly, Ron. They occupy him. That's what you do in a blitz. You pull him aside, let that middle linebacker run through. That's great team defense.
Biscup with an attempt on 5th. And it's going to be a quick kick. He'll pooch it. And it's going to come out of bounds at around the 15-yard line. So the snap going directly to the place kicker. The kick good for 22 yards. Let's take a break. Panthers by 3. Hey, Jeep. There's only one Jeep. By Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Service. The better way to sell your home. Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley. And hope you're enjoying this one. And if you're not, get a pulse check.
You're not watching.
That's right. Van Pelt puts it on his hip. Far sideline has a man wide open, and he underthrows it, looking for Tootin. I beg your pardon, for Truitt. And the ball just a little bit underthrown. Nope, they say it was a reception. Coach Mack down the sideline, and he is questioning whether the ball was trapped or not. And it's good for 23 yards.
I tell you, what a fake. What a team fake. Not just Van Pelt, but the running backs. Everybody.
Coach Godfrey talked yesterday about how very good this youngster was at an early age at faking the football. He has done it extremely well tonight. Richards on the running play. Cuts it back across the 40, and he's all the way out to the 44-yard line. That is good for 11 yards before Dan Busey puts the stop on him. Well, what's the storyline of this one so far, in case you have joined us late? Take a look at turnovers. That is very big. But in the category of sacks, Kev?
Well, absolutely. And what that's doing is it's holding Syracuse's running game down, forcing them into passing situations. And that is not Syracuse's game. This is an option team, and they have not been able to get into their offense.
Walker hands the ball off to Truitt on the reverse. Picks up one block, and then it's going to be stymied He will have the first down at the 49 as Wooden stays at home. But not before the Panthers will move the chains across the way.
It's a very difficult play to make work against a defense that's as well-schooled as Syracuse and as confident in their front people as they are. Linebackers don't tend to over-pursue when their front is as strong as this front. And they've got Narigi and Rooks and Burnett up there, so they can afford to sit a little bit.
Van Pelt whips it to the far sideline. Throws complete again to Reggie Williams. Good for 9 yards. Marker is down across the way, just at the out-of-bounds mark. Question is whether Sandquist, Tim Sandquist, the strong safety, bumped him out of bounds or not. And that is going to be the call. You judge for yourself.
Watch for number 37 in the white jersey. Again, a tremendous pass by Van Pelt to Williams.
Oh, Greg Walker, actually,
yeah,
17.
17, not 37, but clearly out of bounds when he hit him.
Well, we talked off the top of the telecast that these two ball clubs don't care a lot for each other. They want dominance in the East. We have had a lot of personal fouls in this ball game already. Adam Walker still on his feet. He'll be whistled down at the 24. Adam, a senior out of Homestead, Pennsylvania, 6'3", 200 pounds. He's a senior. Dan Busey defensively, the first man to come up and make contact for Syracuse.
Balance was a key offensively for Pitt in this game, Paul Hackett said, and I believe they've accomplished that so far in the first half. They've been excellent as far as keeping Syracuse's defense off balance. First down, 7 passes, 7 runs, and they have had success on those plays.
To Tootin, just outside the 10. Walker with pretty good coverage, but there was not much he could do. And I am really impressed with the freshman Van Pelt.
This is not a bullet. He may not be capable of throwing bullets, but watch how this ball comes down. It's short, and there's only one player that can get it. And that's Tootin. There was no chance of that being intercepted. Henry Tootin with a nice catch, Van Pelt, and they're picking apart a pretty good secondary.
10 of 12 for Van Pelt, 150 yards and a touchdown. Drills it over the middle, complete to Seaman, and he's going to be gang tackled at the 4-yard line. Busey the first man, and then lots of help from friends. Seaman is a load to bring down at 6'4", 245 as a sophomore. Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. As you can see, Syracuse with a player shaken up. That's George Rooks. And he's holding his ribs. So with the officials' timeout, Van Pelt will come over to visit with his head coach and also his offensive coordinator. The numbers so far extremely good for the freshman from San Antonio, Texas.
Over to right guard. They're talking to Paul Hackett in the booth. He is not on the field. Mike is, of course, Gottfried is an offensive guy from way back. He's a guy who likes to throw the ball, has not been able to throw it successfully here because of the problems at the quarterback position. He has to be happy tonight.
Kevin, and looking on the field, one of the things that Pitt likes to do is go with 3 tight ends in the ball game, and Seaman, Hubner, and Sykes are all on the field right now. Sykes will line up as a wing to the right.
He is the most dangerous receiver in the three.
Inside handoff, breaking out the tackle, touchdown, Derek Lewis, his second. faithful love it for Derek Lewis, his second touchdown of the night. And his second of the season. Frazier with the extra point. It's good.
Watch 88 Sykes. He's the guy in the backfield in front of Derek Lewis. Lewis gets hit. He's off of that one. Last time he went over. This time he went right through the Syracuse defense.
Mike Gottfried loves it. His ball club leading by 10.
$177 horses give Comanche so much power, but it's the name Jeep that gives it so much pull.
Now get up to $750 cash back or special financing on select Jeep Comanches during the National Jeep Sale.
For reaching deep, for going long, for digging in when things go wrong, for pushing hard in all you do, that extra yard for coming through this much for you.
Beechwood Age, for the taste so crisp and clean, so refreshing, it's the king of beers.
This much for you.
Dear Dad, I know you didn't want me to put off college for the Army, but Dad, I'm learning things here that are really going to help me succeed, no matter what I do.
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund and earn $17,000 for college for only a 2-year enlistment or $25,200 for a 4-year enlistment.
Dad, now I'll get the most out of college and the best from myself.
Be all that you can be. Get an edge on life in the Army.
Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Writing notes. He could be saying, right guard was good to us. And Coach Mack is saying, we got to get something going here. Down by 10 with just under 6 minutes to play in this opening half. The Panthers and the orange. Here comes Van Horn's kick. Ismail at the 30. Look out, he can fly, and he's finally going to be knocked out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line. Nelson Walker makes the tackle. The student athlete of the game is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Get an edge on life. Be all you can be. And tonight's recipient is Pittsburgh free safety Lewis Riddick. Lewis is an economics major with a 3.4 grade point average, and he lists becoming a Rhodes Scholar as one of his goals. Good look at him. He has a brother who has done extremely well. Sharp on the option, pitches back to Owens. He will go nowhere. And that's Mark Gunn who played it absolutely to the tee.
No! You gotta get it.
Boy, that's a battle, huh? Arkansas, Mississippi.
South Carolina at halftime now by a couple of touchdowns. Virginia has come off the mat, and Texas Tech by a touchdown over the Cowboys.
It's that second team defense again in for Pittsburgh.
Pressure is on, and Shard will be sacked. Tom Sims again. Woohoo! And that sends Coach Mack down the line in a hurry.
Boy, this works pretty good, this two defense thing, doesn't it? These guys look mighty quick. You know, one of the things that he said was, that Bob Valicente said was he wants to get them in because they're fresh, they're quick. That's 5 sacks. But that second team defense, remember how they stopped them deep in their own territory, and then they turned around and got that turnover, and now they're just running over that offensive line.
Play. Owen has an opening, and now more, and he gets tripped up as he crosses the 40, and it's Sims who got a hand on it. Kevin, he was loose in the secondary, and he might have had much more.
All right, they turn that aggressiveness against them. Here they come again. Passing situation, everybody, they're getting a little out of their lanes. Now here's Owens. Doug Hetzler in the defensive secondary just gets faked out by Owens, and Michael almost picks up the first down, but not quite. Crowd, a big hand for that second-team defense.
It was Kennan with the good block. Not enough for the first down. Just got to look at Hampton. He is the deep man and a single safety for the Panthers.
Lonzo Hampton, deep for Pitt.
Clock runs down. And I think Syracuse will not be overly upset. And now Coach Mack in the field. Saying that the 25-second clocks don't jive, I believe, Kevin.
Whatever he's saying it.
So the 5-yard stepped off.
Hey, Tommy! John, come here! Hey, come here! I call timeout!
Syracuse will take the timeout.
Shut him down! 10 seconds left. That's his call. You can't do it. It's an interhold. It was on 10, goddammit. He saw it was on 10.
I think you're right, Ron. I think what he's saying is one clock says, obviously one clock is saying one thing, but the clock that Syracuse is looking at 10 seconds.
Is at the other end. That's right. Tom Faber is the referee tonight.
Hold it. Hey, wait a minute. Now listen, just relax. Don't worry about a thing. We got only 5-yard penalty on the punt. Just want to get after him, okay? Next game. Life should have good fun. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win!
So with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left until halftime, Coach McPherson getting his point made to the officials that either the clocks are not sequenced or there is a number or maybe some lights that are out. There you get a look at it. And the numbers, you can see the lights are not all on. All the bulbs are not working properly. Kev, he's got a good point.
And I believe the official picked up the flag, did he not? Or did they? No, they didn't.
And now, Thamert comes over to the near sideline and is going to talk to the pit bench.
I think they're considering shutting down the clocks. Part of this might be the fans hanging over, obscuring their view.
So they have checked out the 25-second clocks, and we're about to play football again. Ken Hawkins to punt for Syracuse.
The penalty will stand.
Hampton will let it bounce, take it on the big hop at the 15. Breaks off one tackle, and he was one away. Tony Montemora is the man who made the tackle. We'll come back and talk about the mystery clocks in just a moment.
You can teach your kids the fun of football from the right techniques to the right attitude with the help of a great coach and ESPN Home Video. Michigan football coach Bo Schembechler teaches safe and fun basics of football from offense to defense and practice drills. A free phone call gets you started.
Are we ready, men? Hit!
All right, now set your feet, Step in and grab. Hey, that was good.
Teaching Kids Football is just one of the many Teaching Kids videos available from ESPN, all featuring proven methods from famous coaches. To order Teaching Kids Football for just $29.95, call 1-800-841-8900. Ask the operator about our other Teaching Kids videos and save $5 when you order 2. You'll also receive a free ESPN home video catalog. Teaching Kids Sports is child's play with ESPN home video.
It's always been easy to take Jeep off the road. And now it's easy to put Jeep on the road. Announcing the National Jeep Sale. Get $1,000 cash back on Jeep Cherokee, the only domestic vehicle in its class with 4 doors. Get $1,000 back on Jeep Wagoneers, up to $750 back on Jeep Comanche, and get a great low price on Jeep Wrangler. So why buy an ordinary vehicle when you can own an American legend? Don't miss the National Jeep Sale, now at your Jeep Eagle dealer.
Well, we now have had an explanation. The 25-second clocks have been turned off because the bulbs were malfunctioning and the one to the south end of the stadium. They will keep the time on the field for the remainder of the ball game unless they get it repaired at halftime.
Hey, I shut the cops open. You understand that? Yeah, but I shut the cops open.
We have had a little bit of everything in this first half. And if you joined us late, what a start. Kickoff, first play, touchdown, Syracuse. Kickoff, first play, touchdown, Pitt. Van Pelt with the fake, dumps it off to the flat, throws it complete out at the 30-yard line is Ronald Redmond, his fullback. Sophomore out of Miami, Florida. Started off at tailback, had the spring, and then they moved him over to the fullback spot.
You know why? I think that's another Paul Hackett thing. In the pros, your tailbacks, fullbacks are interchangeable, all pass receivers for the most part. And Redmond is more of a complete player. As you notice, though, Derek Lewis scored both touchdowns, but Redmond's in there for first down to give him more flexibility offensively.
Happy to report that George Rooks is back in the ball game for Syracuse. First man through, and it's the fullback again, Redmond, and he will take it close to the first down at the 30. Clock nearing 3 minutes until halftime, with the Panthers leading by 10.
31.
Again, I need to tell you that the linebackers for Syracuse will read into the backfield, and you get that fullback involved in the offense like this, it can cause you a lot of problems. And he is having a big game. And one of the reasons the fullback, Derek Lewis and Redmond, have been successful is because they're crossing up that Syracuse defense.
Richards fumbles the ball, still on the ground, and it's recovered by Syracuse. Number 17, Greg Walker, comes off the artificial surface, and that's exactly what the Panthers didn't want to have happen. They wanted something sustained in this last 3 minutes, having the football, and to go in with at least a 10-point, if not more.
This play was broken. Excellent blocking up front. Watch Busey 55. He overruns it a little bit, gets caved in, and Richard just gets a hand up and gets that ball. Looked like he just got his hand on Kervin Richards, and the ball popped loose.
Either that, or as he pumped, maybe hit his headgear.
Or hit his headgear.
Fullback goes left side. Kennan will take it to around the 47-yard line. Now they say the 46. Defensively, Ricardo McDonald. Turnovers in the ball game so far. They have been big as far as Pitt is concerned, and we will see in this last 2 minutes and 1 second if Syracuse can make it large for themselves. Shard chased out of the pocket inside the 35, and he's down to the 34 as Carney Smith from his right defensive end to make the tackle, but not before a gain of 11. Pittsburgh. Curtis Bray steps in front and makes the pickoff at the 25-yard line. Andrew Dees, the tight end, the intended receiver, and he comes back to talk to his quarterback on exactly what happened.
Pitt used to primarily be a man-to-man team, but watch him go back in the zone and cross up short. Now they want to go to 86 D's right in the center of your screen. But look at the two linebackers sitting in the zone. Gobb.
I sure say if he didn't catch it, Gobb was going to pick it up.
Gobb was right there. Now here comes the pressure. But still in all, that's a ball that maybe shouldn't have been thrown. But the defense was there. And again, the zone again, not really typical of Pittsburgh. More of a man team.
Hamilton, number 92, with a hand in his face. Van Pelt sets the screen. Redmond, he gets taken down hard from behind at the 30-yard line. Fred DeRicci, the senior out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, will nail him. No huddle for the Panthers as the clock runs down to 1:18 and now 1:17. Van Pelt has it complete to Williams across the 50, and he's down at the 48 as Greg Walker makes the stop, but it's good for 23. And a timeout has been called by Pitt. So let's take a break. 62 seconds left until halftime, with the Panthers leading 23-13, and I have a feeling the fireworks are not done.
There's finally a little guy that does everything the big guys do. Introducing Minolta's Maxim 3000i, the world's smallest, most affordable autofocus SLR. The first easy little camera that does it all with any lens. And big camera technology in a small body means results that are absolutely incredible. The big little Maxim 3000i.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
This is a brand new car. Put in a leading motor oil. This is an identical new car. Put in Mobil 1 and drive. Under extreme conditions, temperatures in your engine can reach 570 degrees. Of course, Mobil 1 costs more, but then look at what can happen to conventional oil. Mobil 1, isn't your car worth the extra protection?
Only one oil finished #1 at the 1989 Indy 500. Mobil 1, the choice of champions.
This week on ESPN Scholastic Sports America, Ohio's defending state champions and one of America's top teams hit the gridiron hungry for a repeat. Join us Wednesday on Scholastic Sports America.
Concentration and control are the keys when NASCAR drivers battle on the fast half-mile track at Martinsville. See the Goodies 500, Sunday afternoon at 12:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
In the middle with the glasses on, that is Paul Hackett and his protege, Alex Van Pelt, down on the field, having a big night and doing big things in the second quarter, 11 for 11, and moving the Pittsburgh team now into Syracuse territory with 1:02 left. There it is.
They go with the draw play. Redmond will be stopped after a couple of yards, maybe 3. Interesting thing about Van Pelt, freshman redshirt out of San Antonio Churchill, but he moved from the state of West Virginia after his sophomore year.
He moved because he felt the competition was better where he was going and that they would take a harder look at it, the major college.
Over the middle, complete to Baron Jackson, down to the 23. And folks, we saw Jackson go down injuring his ankle at practice on Thursday, but he didn't show any signs of it there.
12 for 12. Dick McPherson saying this guy's a freshman quarterback. I don't want to see him grow up.
Quick out pass to Tootin. He'll be bumped out of bounds. That'll stop the clock as he's hit at the 22 by Greg Walker. 24 seconds left until halftime.
Van Pelt's from Grafton, West Virginia. Played in a small school. There it is, 17 for 19. 217 yards in the first half, including that bomb that he threw to start the game. Here's the pass 2 passes ago. Talk about accuracy over the zone.
Walker had him covered about as well as you can cover it. Redmond cracked down hard. 59 Bavaro just makes him disappear. And now as the clock runs down, we'll look to see if Pitt tries to get off one more play or if they send the field goal unit in. And he'll throw this one away, complete to a trainer on the far sideline, and that's his first incompletion of the second quarter. Good heavens.
Crowd is,
well, it was caught. A student caught it on the far side.
The crowd is booing, but I think one of the things that's been done here, they have not put that the young quarterback in a position to fail, and they're not going to do it now. They're not going to let him try to force it into the end zone. They're going for the 3.
Hensler is the holder. Frazier to attempt this field goal for the 27, and now Syracuse calls a timeout.
Those guys in there then call a timeout.
Well, we have 4 seconds left. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the USF&G halftime with Bob Carpenter. And Bob will have scores from around the country and also highlights of today's big ball games. I know one he'll be talking about is a team that will be involved here on ESPN next Saturday. West Virginia got us scared down in Louisville before a totally sold-out house. Cardinals is a good ball club.
A lot of people feel that maybe West Virginia should have won that game. Hey, they should have won anyway, but Louisville's a team on the rise. Going down there against Howard Schnellenberger, they really wanted that, and beating them, coming from behind in Louisville, says a lot about that West Virginia program. They can rise to the occasion.
Well, on game day this morning at 11:30 Eastern Time, and I hope you watch that show each week, great story on Louisville and the changes that have come about down there. And I think they talked about the capacity of that stadium. I don't know if the fire marshal was there now, but I think they're about 3,000 over, weren't they?
38,000 was 3,000 more that they could hold. Howard's on a 15-year plan down there. He's got 13 left.
Frazier with the attempt, 37 yards. Plenty of distance and off to the left and no good. So they head to the locker room with our score. The Pittsburgh Panthers 23 and Syracuse 13. We're going to take a break. Now let's go to Bob Carpenter.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. In Pittsburgh, hoping that missed chip shot will not come back to haunt them a little later. It's our USF&G halftime report, scores and highlights from around the nation for you. And let's get started right now with teams playing in the top 25 and games in progress tonight. First of all, Michigan at UCLA at the Rose Bowl. First time they've met since the Rose Bowl in 1983. And with 55 seconds left of the first quarter of play, a controversial touchdown for UCLA's Kevin Williams. Was he over? The official bottom of your screen says yes, he was before he fumbled the football. The other angle from the high 50-yard line camera. And you get a look at it. With 55 seconds remaining first quarter, the Bruins take the lead on that touchdown plunge with or without the football. They're in the second quarter now, and UCLA leads it by a score of 7-0. Nebraska is at Minnesota, and in the Metrodome tonight, it's Ken Clark with a 6-yard touchdown run. The Huskers lead at 7-0 second quarter. Arkansas is having a real fight with Mississippi in Jackson. A late field goal by the Rebels. It's tied 17-17 in the third quarter. The rest of the top 25 highlights and scores coming up in a moment. So stay with us on the USF&G halftime report. We're at halftime of Syracuse at Pitt. Offensive game in Pittsburgh.
We help protect your plans and dreams. Our agents are the key. Together we make America work. We're USF&G. From the mountains edge to the ocean's edge, we ensure you every day. We protect what America's made of. We cover the USA. For the five, for the tribe, for pushing hard. Each time you try, for the heroes they
her third consecutive world title and 10th world championship. She's Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser.
Miss Bud, this one's for you. Hit the road, Jack, and if you don't like it, well,
Road Handler treadlocks. Test them for 1,000 miles. If you don't agree they're the toughest tires you've ever owned, Sears will buy them back.
hit the road, Jack.
Great low prices every day. Road Handler Tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
You're such a bride.
These people never thought of themselves as high-pressure salespeople. They've always been committed to service, and that's why they've become successful Better Homes and Gardens real estate agents, and why they use our proven real estate marketing systems to serve their customers better than anybody. After all, we've found that once you place service above everything, everything else falls into place. Learn more about a career in real estate. Call your local Better Homes and Gardens member firm during Career Week.
Tonight's halftime report is brought to you by US F&G Asset Management, a network to better manage money, people, property, and equipment.
Welcome back to College Football Saturday. I'm Bob Carpenter. More scores and highlights coming your way. Let's get back to the top 25 for action that is now completed in this week 4. Michigan State at Notre Dame, the Irish riding a 14-game winning streak, and the big win over Michigan a week ago as the Spartans came invading today. And watch Anthony Johnson get hammered by Harlan Barnett. There was some tough sticking in this game. Second quarter, Irish up by 7. Tony Rice nearly fell, but got the pitch to Ricky Waters, and he will go a season long, for the Irish at least. 53 yards for the score. They led 14-0, and then 14-6 at the half. Third quarter, Dan Enos of Michigan State, 30 yards to James Bradley for the score, but they didn't go for 2 to tie. They went for 1. It was 14-13. Fourth quarter, the Irish driving. A great effort by Anthony Johnson. He scored 3 plays later as the Irish hung on. They did suffer an injury today to their talented defensive player, Blake Ezor. A separated shoulder. The prognosis not yet known on whether he may be out for a while, but Notre Dame wins it by 8 over Michigan State. Miami of Florida, number 2, but looking good enough to be maybe at least tied for number 1 at this point. Hammered Missouri a year ago at home and did it again today in Columbia. A good day for Craig Erickson. Watch his nice footwork, and he finally hits Leonard Conley as fullback, and he makes a nice run to set up a score into Missouri territory. Erickson did it on the ground as well. Here he will look and see no one open, so he'll run it in for the 6-yard touchdown, and Miami led 24-7. The route was on. Missouri had the ball for 11.5 minutes third quarter and did not score. Hurricane tough defense. Kenny Perry sticking Tim Burton. Miami KOs Missouri on the road 38-7. The Hurricanes looking tough as always. Maryland on the road at Clemson, continuing that murderous schedule of 5 bowl teams in the month of September. And the Tigers are always tough in Death Valley. Their fans were pumped for this one against the Terrapins, and for good reason. Watch number 32, Mitch Belton. Special teams. Lee Corso talked about it this morning. A block punt, and it led to a Terry Allen 2-yard touchdown. Late in the second quarter, Clemson on top 17-7. Wesley McFadden, his second touchdown, a 13-yard effort. Clemson rolls, and they are 4-0. Maryland, in the midst of that terrible schedule, that terribly tough schedule, falls to 1-3. We'll have West Virginia highlights and more when we return on a College Football Saturday. More scores coming your way as we're at halftime of the game with Syracuse at Pittsburgh. It's 23-13, Panthers at the half.
I guess people just know that I'm a pussycat. I mean, why else would they steal 2 cars from me in 1 year? That's right, 2 cars in 1 year. I mean, you know, both had expensive electronic alarms. I heard them blaring as my car disappeared off into the sunset somewhere. Yip-de-doo. Well, I got tired of people taking advantage of my good nature. So I got the club. The club was invented to keep car thieves from taking your car for a ride. I mean, it's visible, reliable, affordable protection. Once the tempered steel club is on your steering wheel, driving your car is virtually impossible until you take it off. That's why police from coast to coast recommend the club. You can't beat the price. So don't settle for anything less than the club. Now you can have the kind of car protection you need. Of course, there's a lot of people out there ready to take advantage of pussycats like you and me. Meow. Pick up the club at these stores.
Or order direct by calling 1-800-527-3345.
Despite Theodore Roosevelt nearly banning football because he thought it too dangerous, United States presidents have enjoyed the game. Dwight Eisenhower played at West Point, John Kennedy at Harvard, Richard Nixon at Whittier, Gerald Ford at Michigan, and Ronald Reagan at Eureka College. And upon the football field were sown the seeds that later bore the fruits of success for each. This is Tim Brando recalling the great traditions of college football.
Since 1870, Syracuse University has offered those seeking a higher education the opportunity to share in its rich tradition of academic excellence and diversity. Over 300 different programs are offered by the university's 14 schools and colleges. Many of the programs, including those of the Newhouse School of Public Communications and the Maxwell School of Citizenship, enjoy international reputations. Syracuse University, the education of a lifetime.
Welcome back to the USF&G Halftime Report. Howard Schnellenberger has his Louisville Cardinals making some national news down there in Kentucky. And they played host to the number 9 team in the nation today with West Virginia visiting, and Louisville gave them a scare. First half, all Cardinals, but watch Major Harris scramble. And scramble in the grass. Greg Dykes is the man he finds in the end zone for a touchdown. West Virginia within 4 at the half. They're down 21-15, 3 minutes left. Tailback Eugene Napoleon in from 1, and they have the lead, 22-21. Next possession, Napoleon again. He breaks it open and breaks the hearts of the folks in Louisville. A sellout crowd, 46 yards, and West Virginia comes from behind to win it 30-21. They're now 4-0 lifetime against Howard Schnellenberger's Cardinals. Ohio State and USC, part of that Big Ten, Pac-10 doubleheader taking place today, and it was not to be a good one for the Buckeyes on the road. It's 7-3 when Shane Foley has already thrown a touchdown pass for the Trojans with Tom Marinovich hurt, but he came back, pumped, and then threw long for John Jackson, 87 yards behind a defender who fell down, and it's 14-3 Trojans, longest touchdown pass in their history. Is this really tailback you? Marinovich throwing a strike to Gary Wellman for 17 yards, his 4th touchdown pass, 35-3, and they go on to just hammer Ohio State 42-3 on the road for the Buckeyes today. Kentucky playing on the road at Alabama. Bill Curry's team still undefeated. Good defense by them today. They win it 15-3. NC State is now 4-0 in the ACC all-conference games so far. Shane Montgomery had 3 touchdown passes, and the Pack rules 40-6 over the Tar Heels. Washington State against Wyoming, a wild one in Laramie, and the Cougars behind freshman quarterback Aaron Garcia come back to win it 29-23. No trouble at all for the Fighting Illini, 41-2 at home over Utah State. Stanford in a thriller of a comeback, upsetting number 22 Oregon. The Ducks had the lead but couldn't hold it. They lose it 18-17 today. Boston College and Penn State. BC had never won at the home of the Nittany Lions, and it was to be a sloppy one in Happy Valley today. The conditions were awful. 4th quarter, up 3-0 is BC. Tony Sacca for Penn State fakes the flare, and the flare to Blair Thomas avoids the D, and down to the 8-yard line he goes. It sets up Heisman candidate Thomas. He takes the handoff and powers it in for the touchdown. No. Timeout had been called by the Eagles, and Joe Paterno did not agree, but he called the number of the naked bootleg. Sacca on the right side. The PAT was good, and Penn State escapes at home by a score of 7-3 today in a thriller. Rutgers on the road at Northwestern, winning at a game you saw on ESPN, 38-27. Iowa coming from behind to defeat Iowa State at Ames, 31-21. Wisconsin and the Golden Bears of California, and Cal wins at 2014 as Troy Taylor had a touchdown late. Oregon State and Boise State. Oregon State on top, 2nd quarter, 7-3. The Bulldogs and Bulldogs. Georgia wins it at home 23-6. Greg Talley had a touchdown pass to lead them. Vanderbilt of the SEC hosting the Bobcats of Ohio. It's 14-3 2nd quarter in Nashville tonight. The Gators and the Memphis State Tigers are just underway in Memphis. Gators lost to the Tigers by 6 last year. Gamecocks of South Carolina at home. This was a tie for a while. Georgia Tech hanging tough, but now it's 21-7 in the 3rd quarter. Virginia's Cavaliers having an outstanding season so far, leading Duke 28-10, 3rd quarter at home. Wake Forest had the lead. Army came from behind to win it 14-10 at home. Willie McMillan, a 60-yard touchdown pass to Calvin Cass for the win. Texas, Tony Jones had a 45-yard touchdown run, and actually the Longhorns trailed in this one but beat SMU 45-13. Also in the Southwest Conference, Baylor hosting the Big Eight's Kansas, 11-0 second quarter down in Waco. Texas Tech at Oklahoma State, and Tech on top of the Cowboys in Stillwater, 10-9 at halftime. Kansas State, its 16th consecutive loss, haven't had a win in 3 years, and they lose it at home 37-20 to Northern Illinois. Southwest Louisiana and the Rice Owls and the Ragin' Cajuns have it 11-3 in the third quarter. Tulane Green Wave on the road at Florida State, and the Seminoles coming off that big win over LSU a week ago, needing another one at home tonight. First quarter, and they're on top. Peter Tom Willis deep to Terry Anthony for a 30-yard touchdown score, and Florida State leads it 10-zip. Still first quarter. Willis again to Anthony, and he slips one tackle, gets it in for his second touchdown. Florida State led it 17-0. Peter Tom Willis threw for better than 300 yards in the first half of that game, and they are just sending the Green Wave home in a trickle, 31-0 at halftime. Coming up in a moment, the Air Force continues to fly on the ground with D. Dowis running the option. Highlights and scores coming up on College Football Saturday.
Home or a brand new car can be a dream come true. And USFNG can help to protect and cover you. From the mountain's edge to the ocean's edge, we insure you every day. We protect what America's made of. We cover the USA.
John Elway's quarterback for your Nintendo Entertainment System. Choose an opponent.
You ready? Yeah, I'm ready.
Then get set for the pad-cracking action. Outthink the competition using real football strategies. Even change the play at the line of scrimmage. It's realistic football strategy, action, and graphics.
What's all the noise?
It's just the game, Mom.
Oh.
So get in the game with John Elway's quarterback. Trade West, we put you in the action.
He broke most of Jim Brown's rushing records at Syracuse. He wore the famous number 44 and led the Orange to their only national championship. He was shy and quiet and said football satisfied his quest for respect. His life was ended tragically by leukemia at age 23. He was Ernie Davis, and he was the first black player ever to win the coveted Heisman Trophy. This is Tim Brando recalling the great traditions of college football.
Back to our USF&G halftime report. The Falcons of Air Force averaging a lot of points, better than 40 a game coming into their home game against the Miners of UTEP today. And the D. Dowis-led Falcons would continue to roll. Watch this move on UTEP's Troy Reffert. It set up his own one-yard touchdown run. A little bit later, that would give Air Force a 12-0 lead. Second quarter, and now it is 18-0 Air Force. Dowis again. This time he pitches to Greg Johnson. And look at him run the option. Perfect timing in the corner, 15 yards, and it's 25-zip Falcons. Later, it was 25-7 just before the half, and Dowis says, I'll go it alone this time. 35 yards for the touchdown. He rushed for 82 on the day, and Air Force led it at that point 33-7 and went on to a 43-26 win over UTEP. Other scores, Tulsa at home, edging New Mexico, offensive show 35-33. Virginia Tech gets the shutout at home, 23-0 over Temple. The Citadel on the road winning 14-10 against Navy. Youngstown State, the Penguins at home over Akron, 2017. That game was tied for a while. Colorado State and Akron, and Eastern Michigan playing to a 35-all tie there. Bucknell losing at home to Cornell, 20-9 this afternoon. Colgate, 42-7 over Brown at home. Another tie, William & Mary and Princeton, knotting up at 31-31 at Princeton. It was Yale, 33-17 at home over Lehigh. Penn, 25-12 over Lafayette at home today. Holy Cross, a 31-17 winner at Harvard. Dartmouth beating BU, Boston University, 28-27 at home. It was Villanova shutting out Columbia, 38-0. 27-22, Richmond beating VMI. 40-23, Maine over Mass this afternoon. It was 41-21, Delaware handling Westchester. It was 17-0, Northeastern winning at Rhode Island. UConn, second quarter score now, 10-0 over New Hampshire in a game being played this evening. Earlier in the Mid-American Conference, Toledo beat Ball State 29-22. Western Michigan, the Broncos, after being shut out last week, roll 26-4 over Kent State. Cincinnati over Miami of Ohio, and they win it 30-14 on the road. Bowling Green winning at home over Central Michigan 24-20. And coming up in a moment, we'll wrap up this segment of our college football scoreboard and get set to send it back to Pittsburgh, where Syracuse and the Panthers are tangling at halftime. Panthers set for the third quarter.
Thanks so much, Bob. Well, it really hasn't disappointed anyone. I guess even the Syracuse fans who have seen some turnovers that they were not extremely happy about, and also about that, the clock, which Hugo could have played a part in that because they were working on that just the other day at the stadium. Possibly some water got in. They're going to try to use them in the second half if they can get that thing functional. 23-13 at halftime. What are your feelings about the first half? Are you surprised this many points?
Oh, yeah. Huh? Yeah, I was amazed. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns. I think the offensive line of Pittsburgh and the defensive line have dominated the game pretty much, and except for a couple of passes from Syracuse. I think that's been the story. I think you can look for the Orangemen to blitz their brains out in the second half. They've got no pressure on Van Pelt.
Kev, we talked so much off the top of the telecast about the great linemen, offensively and defensively, for both of these teams that we would see in action tonight. I think Mark Spindler is a great example for Pittsburgh and the job that he has done and helping that unit.
One of 5 players ever to start as a freshman for Pitt. Really at a historical event. Now here he is back in 1987. Watch how high he is as a freshman. Starting, number 93. See how high he is and how the offense got under him? I want to show you a shot from tonight. He gets blown off. He still makes the play back when he was a freshman. Now look at number 93. He's the guy who's underneath. That's 2 years later. So Mark Spindler making plays like that tonight, and really throughout his career, he has really improved, as has the Pittsburgh defensive line. Would you like to say hi to your mom, Ron?
Oh, hello, Mom.
Hello, Mom. She saw us on camera there, and I just wanted to say hi to Mrs. Franklin, my son.
23-13 our score as we get set to get it started here in the second half in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the temperature continues to come down. No rain, thank goodness. But I have a feeling that the Panther fans can't feel it or are not bothered by temperature in the 30s tonight, because their ball club is white hot right now. 23-13, and those 23 points, Kev, representing more points than they have scored in an entire ball game against Syracuse since 1981.
The balance of their offense has really been the key. They've done a tremendous job keeping Syracuse's defense off balance.
Israel and Duvall, the dual safety, back for Pittsburgh. John Biscup to kick it off for Syracuse. This will be Israel at the 11. Breaks it up, and whoa, what a hit. Good heavens, at the 30-yard line as Kevin Barker, one of the first men to come across and make contact, and also 51, Matt Greco. I'd like to have heard some of the comments in the locker room by Coach McPherson at halftime, what he had to say to his ball club.
I'm surprised we couldn't hear him up here. I think what you're going to see here is a little bit of a different defense from Syracuse. They are traditionally very, well, they're fundamental. They don't blitz a lot. I think they're going to come after him here.
Running play, Richards right up the middle, breaks it for 10, counted off at 12. 25, Rob Thompson, the junior, comes over to make the stop. He's the free safety.
We talked about how they key backs here. Watch the backs. See the fullback going way wide. Richards goes right up the middle, takes the linebackers. The fullback takes the linebackers a little bit with him. And Richards, with that quick feet, he makes it up the middle for a big gain. 6 carries, now 58 yards for that guy.
You can see the linebacker on the right, just as you said, Kev, just disappear. This time it's the fullback. And Redmond, check it, Derek Lewis in the ball game will take it out to the 45. DeRiggi, the nose guard, comes over to make the first hit on him. The halftime stats, these tell the story pretty well, particularly when you look at attempted and completed in passing for Pitt.
And rushing yards. Those are the 2 key stats.
And also sacks, 5. This young man has not been sacked, or was not in the first half. Redmond this time ran into his own blocker for a moment, brought it up to the 48. Bavaro from his inside linebacking spot. DeAnnabarro, 6 feet, 230 pounds, a senior Very consistent player on this defensive unit for Syracuse.
3rd and 4. Pitt at their own 48.
Pitt needs the 48 of Syracuse. Tootin complete at the 30-yard line. Greg Walker was all over him, and again, Van Pelt just threaded the needle, this time for 22.
Well, Syracuse did blitz on this play. Number 59, Bavaro, came. So did the other backer. But look at Van Pelt just standing in there. And again, the accuracy incredible to Tootin. I mean, that's pretty good coverage by Syracuse.
From just outside the 30-yard line, Panthers on the move. Richard, big yardage again in the vicinity of the 20-yard line as Bavaro has to make the stop. And all of a sudden, Richards, the man they called Swervin' Curvin, now 7 carries for 68.
Matus and Chris Gett, 62-72. Watch George Rooks, number 91, gets pinned inside. That's Burnett, number 70, going down. And Richards could have taken 2 friends right through the middle. Chris Steele also making a big block in there. Just a great job by the offensive line of Pitt.
Fullback goes through. They try to crack him off the left side. That's Lewis. Again, it's one of those things, Kevin, they almost influence with the blocking, as though they're going to zone and maybe either go right side or take it outside to the right, and they try to bring the fullback back into short.
Well, what they've done here throughout the evening is they have thrown the ball so successfully and worked that play action so successfully that Syracuse, in the back of their mind on every play, is worried when they see a run, whether it's a pass. And that's going to make them stop that half second, makes it easier to block them and easier to run against them.
Van Pelt dumps it out wide open as Redmond at the 10, at the 5, and it's 1st and goal Pitt. Dan Busey, the first man in the orange headgear to hit him, but he was all alone, as you can see.
Pitt traditionally has not been a fullback-oriented team. This is new. Now, Curvin Richards, number 27. A little pick block there. They get tangled up with him, and watch Redmond, number 22. He's the last man out, the last linebacker. Usually the worst coverage guy covers the fullback, and they have eaten him up on that play.
Fullback straight ahead. Touchdown number 3 for Lewis. The great thing that you saw about the picture a moment ago, Curvin Richards is the man who gets all the publicity, and that was Richards who was picking up Redmond to congratulate him, or rather Lewis, on his 3rd touchdown of the night. Extra point attempt by Frazier is perfect.
88 is Sykes, number 55, Dan Busey, the linebacker, inside wing block. Nice play by Busey, comes and meets the block, but here's Derek Lewis. He didn't get enough help, and 225 pounds. You're going to see it. Watch 55. He gets stuffed. Nobody can stop Lewis. Lewis powers in for a touchdown.
And the other man that you saw was number 51, Sestilli, leading the block, 30-13. Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Panther Band playing away as their ball club has jumped in front by 17 points. Van Horn with the kickoff to the near side will go out of bounds, and they'll do it over again back at the 30. Take a look at the first half possessions by Syracuse. First play, touchdown in case you missed it. Then lost yardage and punted. Lost yardage, fumble. Then 74 yards for a touchdown on that 5th possession. And then a punt on the 7th.
One of the things that Dick McPherson wanted to do, one of the objectives of their offense is to lead the ball inside the 40-yard line of Pitt. As you can see from that graphic, they have not been successful tonight doing that. Field position has helped the young quarterback a great deal, Van Pelt from Pittsburgh, and he has taken advantage.
Well, that man, I'm sure, discussed and linked the 2 fumbles that you saw on the possession chart and the interception. You don't do that against good football teams. You don't do it against anybody, but particularly as Pitt has demonstrated tonight, they were a very good team, as is Syracuse. Ismail at the 5. At the 35 and out to the 37. 33 yards on the return. Don't forget, ESPN's College Football Saturday continues next week, beginning at 11:30 a.m. with College Game Day. Bob Carpenter, Bino Cook, and Lee Corso preview the day in college football. Then at 12:30, it's the Princeton Tigers taking on the Crusaders of Holy Cross. Then at 7:30, Kevin and I will be in Morgantown, West Virginia, where West Virginia won this afternoon. They will take on the same Pitt Panthers next Saturday night. Bouchard with the short drop, incomplete, looking for Rob Carpenter. Transfer out of Notre Dame. Carney Smith was up in the air with a hand in his face. Rob is out of Amityville, New York.
You might, I'm from New York also, not far from Amityville. You might wonder about Syracuse and their chances of coming back. Well, this, although we haven't seen it tonight, is an option team. And they have been forced out of the option. They are not a throwing team, although they have had some success, but they're going to be very predictable. And you can bet Pittsburgh is going to play a little soft on defense.
Pressure on Shars. He sets up the screen. Owens makes the catch. And oh, my goodness, what a hit at the 30-yard line. And that's Mark Spindler, the man we talked about at halftime. Oh, you not only could hear it up here, you could feel it.
They have to chain this guy up after practice. Watch 93. He's going to make both ends of this play. Here he comes to force the pass with help, and then he turns around. And look at the effort. Oh, hello, Mr. Owens. That's all-American caliber stuff there. Death row. Mark Spindler right in the middle.
Junior out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. 6'5", 270 pounds. For Syracuse, third down. They need the 48. Shar going to go long, looking for Rob Moore, and incomplete down at the 25 as Lewis Riddick had the cover on the play. Lewis Riddick. Remember his brother Rob.
Great player.
You bet. Ken Hawkins, fourth time to kick tonight. Alonzo Hampton, the lone back for the Panthers. Wobbly kick as the pressure came from the middle. This takes a Syracuse bounce and goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Continuing our Eastern football theme tonight. Lambert Trophy winners in the 80s.
Take a look at that. Pittsburgh began the 80s. West Virginia last year in between. Syracuse, Penn State, and Boston College. They're all dangerous, as indicated by today's Penn State win over Boston College. They just squeaked by. West Virginia had a little trouble with Louisville, but they won the game. Then next week, West Virginia and this Pittsburgh team in Morgantown will be there, and that's going to be one heck of a game.
Van Pelt goes to Richards, right side. Ooh, he gets stood up by Dan Busey, number 55. Also George Rooks, and let's go to Bob Carpenter.
All right, Ron, Michigan at UCLA. A couple of former high school teammates will hook up. Brett Johnson, a 6-yard bullet to Scott Miller. They played together at El Toro High School, Mission Viejo. Now doing it for the Bruins, who lead 14-3 second quarter. Ron.
There you see our score with just under 10 minutes to play in this third period. Pittsburgh by a 17-point margin. And this young fella has simply been outstanding. Swings it out to Richards. Crosses the 35. And Pitt will be confronted with a third down. They'll still need about 4. Here's Tim Sandquist up from a strong safety spot to make that hit.
The thing that's so impressive about Van Pelt is there doesn't seem to be any hesitation. He knows exactly what he wants to do in there. And for a freshman, it's really incredible.
3rd and 4. Pitt at their own 36.
Overthrown, looking for Redmond, and for one of the few times tonight, Syracuse pressured him. He had to go ahead and unload.
And covered the pass at the same time. You're right. And what Van Pelt did again, he didn't have any play, and he just threw it over the head of the receiver where no one could get it except that receiver. Good poise.
Greg Walker.
Only the second punt of the night for Brian Greenfield. Greg Walker at a single safety for the Orangemen.
They'll be coming to get this.
Left footer, wobbly spiral. It's going to be a tough one. Walker runs away from it. And it will go dead inside the 20-yard line. 47 yards on the punt. And when things are going right, they go right, say the Panthers. 100 years of Syracuse football, there is no number like 44. In 1956, Jim Brown combined power and grace on his way to attaining All-American honors. In 1959, the number was passed to Ernie Davis. 2 years later, he would win the school's only Heisman Trophy. And in 1964, it was Floyd Little's turn. All he did was become the first 3-time All-American in Syracuse history. And there's the man who wears it in 1989, Michael Owens, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Shar drills it over the middle, complete to Chris Gedney, his tight end, a redshirt freshman out of Liverpool, New York, and he'll have 5 yards. Oh, for Owens tonight, 7 carries, 31 yards, and 1 touchdown. It's his 3rd of the season. Kevin, we mentioned back in the first half, though, that when they give you that number, they expect not only good things, they expect great things.
I think it's not only ability. You better give it to the right kid who has the right kind of psychological makeup, or you're going to have a problem.
This is Owens, hit in the backfield, going to be knocked down, and it is Tony Siragusa, the first man, along with Mark Spindler. And for a scoring update, here's Bob Carpenter again.
All right, Ron, this time we go to Tallahassee. Tulane at Florida State. Peter Tom Willis out of the game now, and Casey Weldon takes over. And a little dump off to Amp Lee, A-M-P, and he will turn on the amps, and he will be gone. 88 yards, and Florida State's having a party at home, leading Tulane 45-6 in the 3rd quarter. Back to Pittsburgh.
Bobby Bowden's ball club rolling again tonight. Shar on the run, has it complete out to the 30-yard line to Rob Carpenter. Robert Bradley, from his quarterback spot, senior out of Elizabeth, New Jersey, is there to make the stop. Interesting story in Carpenter. Notre Dame transfer. Really a great athlete. Decided that he wanted to come back closer to home to play.
He left the rocket, and he found the missile when he got to Syracuse. He can't get away from those Ismail.
Owens on the draw. Tries to get it outside. You can see Ricardo McDonald as the ball comes loose. Play was over, and the official was too, almost.
Yeah. What you see now is a team doing exactly what they don't want to do. Nick McPherson has always been a very fundamental conservative coach. He's a guy who likes balance in his offense, and he will not be able to achieve that with 6:40 to go in the 3rd quarter and down by 17 points. They need to put it up, and they need to move down the field.
Shar will hold on, and he'll be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, and that's Carney Smith. And it's almost textbook again, as you could see him playing off the blocker and then coming up with the quarterback.
Pitt had the, watch 92, Keith Hamilton, go right for the pitch man directly. This is a freeze option. Look at 92, right side of your screen. Shar has no chance. He looks over there. If he pitches it, Hamilton's got it. That's just tremendous defense and coaching. Did they read that thing or what?
Well, it's third down, and they need just about the 41. Take a look at those numbers.
Wow. For an option team, that's not good.
Shar, good protection, in and out of the hands of Moore, of all people. One of the more sure-handed, if not the most sure-handed player on the Syracuse club, and it was Riddick who ridded him of the football.
Toughest thing in the
again.
Excuse me, Ron. Toughest thing in the world to do is to block when you know the other team knows you're going to pass. Look at Bednar, 79, on our man Spindler. Tremendous job, giving Shar enough time to throw the ball. A very difficult proposition.
4 kicks for an average of almost 36 yards by Hawkins tonight. Into Marin kick, and again Hampton's going to wait for the bounce, and he'll take it on the good hop, and oh my goodness, gets a headgear right in the stomach just as he catches it.
Hampton returns the punt for Pitt.
Reggie Terry is the man who decked him. Let's take a break. 30-13 Pitt. Western Pennsylvania. And it probably is all 22 defensive starters for Pittsburgh, since they don't just use 11 and a few substitutes.
You get a piece of a game ball here, I think, if you win.
Richards puts a headgear down, and he will be stopped after a gain of about 5 by Dan Bavaro. Well, last night, Coach Mack was talking about his ball club loved to be on Saturday nights because it's peer night. And the fact that the rest of the country gets to see it. He said not just other players, but other coaches.
Well, as we go around the country, we hear that they saw the game the week before, and they get done with their game in the afternoon, and they go home and they watch. And I think that's a really motivating factor for the players in these games.
Richards. They run the reverse, now the flea flicker. Up the far side, and it's complete as he throws it right back to Kervin Richards, who started the play off.
Was complete to Kervin Richards.
I have to tell you here that now this really is impressive from Van Pelt. The receiver they wanted to go to was Tootin. Now here's you're going to see the little flea flicker, the reverse, but to see him look, Tootin's covered. Most guys would have thrown that ball at Tootin anyway, but instead he finds the secondary receiver on a flea flicker. And I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Kervin Richards made the catch, but Tootin was covered way downfield. Van Pelt checked off.
Richards again as they work him, has 5, has 10, counted off at 12. Tim Sandquist has to come up and belt him down. You could see on the scores just a moment ago, big win by the Cubs this afternoon, 3-2. We'll have those along with highlights and scores from all the major college football games on SportsCenter coming up at around 11:30 this evening. Kervin will get a breather. Calaguire and Laborio, good blocking in that last play. Straight up the middle, this time Derek Lewis, who has 3 touchdowns in the game. Marker comes from down deep as the ball has been taken away. And it is Syracuse football. Pitt can't believe it. And the officials say, yes, it came loose.
Derek Lewis, number 26, in his left hand. Busey gets his hand in there, the right hand, and the ball is loose. Although I don't know where it is. Bavaro, number 59, right side of your screen, falls on it, and it is Syracuse ball.
So the Panthers leading 30-13 with just under 4 minutes to play third period, and a big break for the Orangemen. One of the best field positions they've had all night in taking the ball over. Shaw will be sacked for the 6th time tonight. He had a safety valve and Owens open to the near side, but he wanted to take it downfield. And it's Carney Smith.
This is a coverage sack. The blocking was absolutely excellent. Look at Bednar's here, number 79, holding people out. Sims doing a great job. They really didn't get in. They get in from the backside because the coverage was there. Now, Shar has plenty of time to throw. He just can't find anyone.
Back to the 45, so it's 2nd down and 15. Shar on the option at the 50, and he'll be taken down there by Lewis Reddick from his free safety spot. Nebraska shutting out Minnesota there in the 3rd period. Arkansas continues to lead over Mississippi, now by 7 in the 4th. Florida-Memphis State, good ball game. They're still early, not at halftime yet. And Southern Mississippi and the Horned Frogs of TCU knotted.
Southern Miss, after that big upset over Florida State, had a real difficult time.
Our situation, a 3rd down for Syracuse. Dean Calaguire, fine offensive lineman for the Panthers. For Syracuse to keep this drive alive and make the fumble recovery pay off, they need the 41. Shar has a man open, complete to Moore. Inside the 25, puts on the move, and he's down to the 18. Riddick finally finishes him off. And the things that they say about number 14 is that he may be the best that Syracuse has ever had, and that's saying a ton.
Had his teeth knocked out in the Army game and came back at 25 stitches. Well, somebody blows the coverage here because he's just not supposed to be this open. There isn't anybody there. He's just breaking it off in a dead spot in his own. But this was a major dead spot. Riddick makes the tackle. He had 10 yards on either side of him.
3 catches, 106 yards, 109 yards, I beg your pardon, and 1 touchdown tonight. Owens, big hole at the 15, at the 10, it'll be close to the 1st down.
Michael Owens, the ball carrier.
Ricardo McDonald makes the stop for the Panthers. I don't know if they'll bring in the change or not, but from where they have it spotted, yes, it is a 1st down. That's 10 carries for 47 yards now for Owens. 1st and goal for Syracuse. The reverse. Carpenter, traffic in front, cuts it inside, and he will score.
Rob Carpenter carry for the Syracuse.
You give this one to Rob Carpenter. Pitt defenses this play perfectly. They're all out there. They know what's coming. Watch what he does. This guy weighs 180 pounds. He's supposed to go wide. He turns it upfield. 180 pounds, 6'2", right through the defense like a running back and plows into the end zone. That was just guts. That play was a busted play.
Biskup to attempt the extra point. Trying to make it a 10-point ball game. His kick is perfect.
Kick is good.
70 seconds left in this 3rd period. Rob Moore, 6'2", 201 pounds, a junior out of Hempstead, New York. And in case you didn't hear what we talked about in the 1st half, he has a vertical. They have measured him at 43 inches, and that's a guy that is very large for a receiver. ESPN's presentation of college football continues on Thursday night. That's when Division I AA power Idaho will play host to Big Sky rival Montana. Barry Tompkins and Gene Washington will be there for all the action. Starts at 8 p.m. and you'll get a chance to see a really fine quarterback in Idaho's All-American John Freeze. That is this Thursday night at 8 o'clock.
We told you this is Eastern football, rough and tough, and most of the replays we give you are in a little bit of a slowed down version. Here it is in real time with Matt Sound. Show you how tough it is to get in the end zone. Ooh, that was hat to hat.
Robert Bradley, number 16, is the man who came up and put the hat on the man for the touchdown. He's still got a cross. So it's a 30-20 ball game. Biscup will take it off for Syracuse. Israel and DeVoe back deep for the Panthers.
And Israel deep for Pitt.
Going to be Israel at the 14. Tries to get outside the coverage and will be handcuffed at the 31-yard line. JoJo Wooden on the special teams to make the stop. Checking some other scores. Baylor out on top of Kansas in the second period. Now Southwestern Louisiana extends their lead over Rice. Florida State having their way. Bobby Bowden getting to look at a lot of folks tonight at East Carolina in a shutout right now. Up the middle to the 40-yard line. Adam Walker, the senior out of Homestead, Pennsylvania, with a good run before Rob Thompson stops him, but it's a gain of 9.
Number 59, David Bavaro, linebacker. Watch his reaction here. He's going to step up. He gets a little too deep. He almost over-pursued the back from straight on. He got too close to Walker, and Walker was able to get around him. A lot of times as a linebacker, you want to sit on the line of scrimmage until the back commits because you have people on either side of you. He got away from that.
Richards goes left side. I think he had the first down before he got pushed back. Bavaro and Busey, the two inside linebackers, stepped up to fill the hole. Syracuse scoring drive, 5 plays, 51 yards, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And Carpenter on the 8-yard run for the touchdown.
Really shows what they can do with little field position, Ron. They got that turnover, and they were able to turn that into a touchdown right away.
Having to bring the chains from all the way across the field. And that's going to be enough for the first down. Repeating the situation we had in the first half. We are not playing with the 25-second clocks on here at the stadium. The time is being kept on the field because of a malfunction of one of the clocks. What had happened is some of the numbers, some of the bulbs were not functioning properly. And Syracuse, Coach Mack claimed that it cost him a 5-yard penalty because it appeared as though that there was 10 seconds left and the clock ran out, just as it has now. But that is the end of the third period, with the Pittsburgh Panthers leading the Syracuse Orangemen by 10 points. Let's take a break. We'll be back with the final 15 in just a moment.
Franklin back in Pittsburgh, where the Panthers are leading by 10 over Syracuse. First play of the fourth quarter coming up.
Richards tripped up at the line of scrimmage, and the first man to hit him was Bavaro. Ran into his own blocker also, Chris Getz.
Pittsburgh has gotten decidedly, how should I say, conservative here in the late third quarter now, and early in the fourth quarter. They've gone away from the pass on first down, trying to protect this lead, which has shrunk up a bit. I think they're going to have to get back to their game plan.
The back of big Mike Laborio, 6'5", 270-pound freshman out of Monroeville, Pennsylvania. pressure. Gets it away, and it is caught by Tootin at the 47-yard line of Syracuse.
I really don't know what to tell you if you've been watching this game. This is a redshirt freshman. It's his third game. I'll let him show you what he can do. That's remarkable. Tootin 6, 115 yards, 1 touchdown, but you can thank Van Pelt for that. The kid is incredibly accurate, and what poise.
I think what he also came over to say to Tootin was, thanks for helping save my life. He came back toward the line of scrimmage. Adam Walker crosses the 45, and Terry Wooden steps up into the hole to make the stop after a gain of 3. Well, let's check the storyline of this one to date with a score at 30-20. Van Pelt, numbers are simply unbelievable. Pitt defense with 6 sacks for a -50. Derek Lewis, 3 touchdown runs, and Syracuse rushing.
You can take that top one and the bottom one, and that's going to spell victory just about any time for Pitt.
These are awesome numbers. Richards takes it inside the 40. That's right. He was 18 of 20 against Boston College.
He was 10 of 11 in the second half for 122 yards. I was saying to myself, well, he'll never do that again.
Roman Matus, senior out of Newark, New Jersey, is the shaken-up player. So let's take a break. 12 minutes, 41 seconds left to play in this one as they battle for supremacy in the East with the Panthers on top. We'll be right back.
If ground clearance is important in your next pickup, watch this visual test. 2 full-size half-ton 4x4s, Chevy and Ford, try to drive over this protected camera cage. First, the Chevy. Plenty of clearance. But the Ford. Cameras don't lie. When it comes to half-ton ground clearance, nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
The heartbeat of America. Today's truck Chevrolet.
Beer was brought over on the Mayflower and shared on the first Thanksgiving. Enjoyed by Puritans and pirates, it's figured prominently throughout our nation's history. Our founding fathers thought highly of beer. In fact, the Continental Congress made it a part of every American soldier's daily ration. Our first president had his own private recipe. Over the next 2 centuries, brewing grew with the country, earning recognition as an important American industry. Today, it's served on the tables of nearly 2/3 of our country's families and enjoyed by 80 million Americans every year. And from the very start, it's always been meant for responsible adults. Beer. It's a good part of the good life. A message from Anheuser-Busch.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Syracuse versus Pittsburgh, is brought to you by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck. By Anheuser-Busch, we brew our fine quality beers to be enjoyed responsibly. Remember, know when to say when. And by Gillette, and the Gillette After Plus shaving system. Gillette, the best a man can get. Nick McPherson looks on with 12 minutes, 30 seconds left in the ballgame. His team down by 10 and the Panthers driving again. Pass thrown complete at the 30-yard line to Lionel Sykes, and it's enough for the first down +6. Adam Walker with an absolutely great fake into the line of scrimmage, and he got covered up by Syracuse defensive players. Sykes slid off and made the reception. Sykes is 6'6", 250 pounds. He's a junior college transfer. a marker down back at the line of scrimmage, and Pitt has been called for offensive holding. Senior out of right here in Pittsburgh.
Offense, repeat first down, 10-yard penalty.
Demonstrates the sentiments of this entire offensive unit and many thousands here in the stands.
That is potentially a very big play right there. That was Syracuse. That was a nail, a final nail, and now they're going back the other way. Boy, that was a big play, big play. And another incredible pass by Van Pelt.
Kev, you really, if they come away with points on this drive after this, you're really going to find out what they're made of. Illegal procedure. Mike Lavorio, I believe, the outside man on the right, anyway, moved, and 5 more yards will be stepped off against Pitt.
All right, here's the play they called back just a moment ago. Now watch how quick this play gets off. 1, 2 steps. I don't see the holding yet. Maybe on Burnett there. Look at that pass to Tootin. It's time to start talking Marino here, where when you talk about Van Pelt, he's just a freshman with 3.5+ years to go. The holding was on that play. I did not see it. Did you see it, Ron?
No, I was looking at something else. First down, they need the 19. And they go running play. Brooks will step up into the hole to make the stop, and Kirvin Richards.
There's a fine player, Rooks. He, as a freshman, started for Syracuse last year. They feel that he's going to be one of the great defensive linemen they have ever had. He's just a sophomore, George Rooks, 272 pounds.
Now the final down at Jackson. Arkansas has defeated Mississippi by a touchdown. Baylor still leads in their ball game. Southwest Louisiana over Rice. That's not final yet. This one is South Carolina by 11 over Georgia Tech. Draw play inside the 40-yard line and down to the 38 as Bavaro again will step up to hit Kirvin Richards. Kirvin, another Texas youngster out of LaPorte, just east of Houston, Texas.
He's from Jamaica, isn't he, originally?
Yeah.
Kirvin Richards.
It's going to be third down, and for the Panthers, they need the 19-yard line. 30-20. Mike Gottfried's Pitt Panthers leading the Syracuse Orangemen. Still over 10 minutes to play in the ball game. Van Pelt over the middle, incomplete as Tootin gets annihilated at the 10. Whiteman wanted the man to put a shoulder down on him, number 22.
That was the first really poor pass that Van Pelt has thrown, and that ball hit Whiteman in the back. And I think that's what Tootin is complaining about. I think Whiteman never did turn around and hit him in the back, and the ball was really short and off the mark. Here's a look at it. His Whiteman doesn't even know it's coming, hits him between the twos, and then they make a sandwich, Mr. Tootin.
So Greenfield will have to punt. Come out of bounds inside the 15 at the 12-yard line. 26 yards of the kick, but the field position that Syracuse takes it over with is not very good. Let's take a look at the primetime review. Notre Dame, #1 in the country. George Perlis's group played an extremely good ball game, but the Irish won it 21-13. Ricky Waters with 2 touchdowns. The second one, a 53-yard run. Ohio State falls to USC and big, 42-12.
Marinovich coming on there, just a young freshman.
Screen pass to the right side. McKinnon turns it up at the 20, 25, almost off to a foot race, and is finally caught and knocked out of bounds by Doug Hetzler. That is 25 yards on the screen pass.
Jeff Esters almost gets him, number 97. Here's Rob Moore, the wideout. Nice block there, and that lets Kinnan get around the corner. He'll pick up an extra 10. Look at the execution on this thing. Watch 97. Esters, the lineman. Watch him chase him and almost catch him. Good hustle, but they can't get him. Kinnan, 2 catches, 54 yards.
Draw play. This is Owens, going to be wrapped up at the 39.
That second team defense again, and they have played very well when they've been in there. Now this is a test. They're protecting a 10-point lead, getting down to crunch time, 9:49 to go in the game, and Mike Gottfried puts in an entire second unit on defense. The theory is they want to win the fourth quarter. They should be fresh.
42-3 was that final score a moment ago. I think I gave USC and Ohio State. Fumble the snap to Shar, running for his life, and he's going to be caught by Mike Boykin.
Boy, you have to root for these guys, don't you? These are guys that normally in most teams don't even play, and look at them, they're coming, penetration. Look at all the yellow hats in there, and Boykin, well, he's been in the right place or in the right time for a few times. 7 sacks, 59 yards for Pitt so far this evening, and that second unit has accounted for a great deal of that.
Blitz. Shar's pass is caught. Moore will have it enough for the first down up around midfield.
They've done so well defensively, playing kind of a zone defense, and here they go to man-to-man, and they leave Moore out here man-to-man. Look at that. Boy, I'll tell you, what a move there, huh? They've got that backup defense in there, and they're able to make the move and get wide open. Barry Freitz.
To the right, that pitch goes to Owens, and again, an absolute coaching film put on by Pittsburgh as Crossman comes up to make the hit.
And Mike, as he said when we talked to him, Mike Gottfried, he pulled out that second team defense after the big gainer, put back his first team, and that was Dan Crossman, who was with Mike Gottfried when he was coach at Kansas, and came to Pitt with Mike, and now starting safety here 4 or 5 years later.
What is he? He came as a cornerback, they moved him to fullback, and now they put him at strong safety.
Started at corner as a freshman in Kansas, and now he's back after being on offense a couple of thousand miles away. He's here at Pitt.
Reversing the option, looking to throw. Over the middle, has it complete. That's Moore. Inside the 35 as Alonzo Hampton puts a move on him, but not before Syracuse moves the chains, and another big first down.
Nice job by Flannery and McCummings and Bednarz. The line does a tremendous job. Option look, get the block at the corner, and then over the middle to the big guy, Moore. Pitt giving him that hole in the middle, trying to keep the clock running inside 7:40 now.
Good matchup between 2 All-Americans in Hampton and also Moore. Short drop this time, going for Moore, and it is knocked away. That's Robert Bradley, the senior out of Elizabeth, New Jersey, who knocks it away.
Well, you can see the frustration on Moore's face. Now, what they did there, Shar just threw it up because of that 43-inch vertical jump. But watch Bradley. I think he holds him down. See the hand, the left hand on the head? Moore isn't able to get up. Now, that ball, I think, was designed for anybody who could get up high enough to get it. But watch. Great job by Bradley. Keeps Moore from going up and then helps him down.
Leading by 10. Syracuse driving. Shar again with a short drop, has it complete to Moore at the 20, and he'll be pushed out of bounds on the near sideline by Riddick. And a marker has been thrown in the middle of the field. So for Syracuse, the same fate that Pittsburgh suffered a moment ago, and that is offensive holding to erase a very big play. Bill Shard, the numbers on him tonight, 12 of 21, 1 interception, 202 yards.
Those are pretty good numbers for a guy who has not run the ball an inch. They have not been able to run it.
Drills his pass, and it's complete to Carpenter. Push back. They're going to give him forward progress to the 33. And it will be a third down and still about 11 yards for the first.
Confident cornerback that can play defense like that. That was Alonzo Hampton.
Coach McPherson all the way down to the 25-yard line to talk to the officials. Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 6:40 left in the ball game. 30-20, the Panthers. Shar up top, has it complete. Incomplete, they're going to say. Gedney, his tight end, inside the 5-yard line. He had it, and then he dropped it.
A lot of things went on this play. They sent 5 receivers out. Their line did a great job protecting Gedney. This pass is right there. Now Gedney has it and then tries to bring it in, hits himself in the stomach and loses the ball. But the execution on this thing is fantastic. From the offensive line blocking to the pass, and then Gedney just can't pull it. It would have been a heck of a catch. 4 down territory, they're going to go for it.
4th down, Syracuse. You listen. Complete inside the 20 to Rob Moore.
You're asking probably why are these guys open. Syracuse, who has not been able to protect their passer the entire game, is now sending out 5 people on the pattern and managing to buy time. Offensive line doing a great job. He's 14 of 24, an interception, 227 yards for Shar now. Up on the line of scrimmage. Who else? Tom Sims, for a backup player, has been some kind of player tonight. A senior out of Detroit, 6'4", 270 pounds.
Second stand. After the 10.
Clock continues to run. About to hit 5.5 minutes left in the ball game. Goes back to Owens, turns it upfield inside the 10, and he's down to the 9. Curtis Bray coming over to make the stop.
Right. He's all right. He just lays trapped there. Get his ready. Go. Hey, what? Tails win. Now you're out of it. Gedney's in there. Let's get a run in the front of the play. It's a 2-point play. Tails win.
And now we go under 5 minutes left in the ball game. As Syracuse is moving the ball, but Kev, they're also using up a lot of time.
What you heard, you heard part of this. Let's wait a minute. I don't want to tip this until they get up to the line. What you heard was 2-point play. They have a play evidently they use on a 2-point conversion. They're going to run right here. Flood.
Pass is incomplete. Looking Kenny, the tight end. And he got sandwiched. The ball came free. That'll stop the clock with 4:31 left and putting extreme pressure on the quarterback was Carney Smith.
All right, they had a wing. They put him in motion. This is Kenny. It's a flood pattern. Here he comes now underneath. He has a little bit of room, but not too much, and the ball thrown just a little bit low. But that's a play that they use on a two-point conversion when they just need a couple of yards, and that's what they needed for the first down. And Shar gets pounded once again.
Carney Smith, as we were talking about, the senior out of Toledo, Ohio, is the man who knocked him down.
All right, tough call here now. Do you go for it or do you kick the field goal?
Well, Pitt has called a timeout. So let's take a break. With 4:31 left in the ball game, the Panthers by 10 and Syracuse marching.
Just off Route 19 in St. Petersburg is a place where you can learn to ski the Alps and shoot the rapids all in the same building. At Bill Jackson Sporting Goods, you can practice everything from a stem Christie to an Eskimo roll. But if you go there, remember, bring your imagination and your Visa card. Because Bill Jackson doesn't promise you Sun Moritz, and he doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Chevy S10 four-wheel drive pickups take on the four-wheel drive Ford Ranger. Look, to shift from four-wheel drive high to freewheeling two-wheel drive, Ford Ranger actually makes you stop and back up 10 feet. While Chevy S10 InstaTrack lets you shift on the fly without slowing down, so you can go forward with Chevy or backward with Ford. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
You're looking sharp, you're looking good. You've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Father to son, it's what we've always done. Gillette.
The Gillette Atra Plus system and Gillette Foamy Shave Cream together, the best a man can get.
Football Saturday, and we hope that you are enjoying what has been really at Donnybrook. The Panthers by 10. Syracuse, during the timeout, has elected to send in the kicking unit, and John Visca will try to take 3 of the 10 points off the board. .26-yard attempt. And he got it. So now it is a 7-point ball game. 30-23 with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left to play. And Kev, that was an extremely tough decision to make.
It really was. Well, what it does now is it's a field position thing. If you don't kick it and you don't score on the next play or get a first down, well, you're out of the ball game. Obviously, you're still 10 points down. If you kick the field goal, what you do is you have to get a touchdown now. So field position becomes more important. Much more important. Obviously, if you make the field goal, then you look good. But if you miss the field goal, here's Dick McPherson calling the field goal. It's got to happen. Motivationally, his team is still in the game, and they'll be roaring defensively now. But field position probably is the key here. They need to get in the end zone, whereas they probably needed to get to about the 30-yard line to tie the game if they go for the touchdown today.
Well, don't forget, next Saturday night, Kevin and I will be in West Virginia, Morgantown, to see the same Pittsburgh Panthers taking on West Virginia, who had to come from behind late in the 4th period today to beat a very stubborn and good Louisville ball club.
Well, the Ears, you know, the Ears down there, they came from behind to beat Maryland earlier in the year also. It's a team that's done what they have had to do to this point, and of course, if Syracuse Pitt holds this lead and goes in 3-0, we're going to have 2 undefeated teams in Morgantown. And they'll still be warm from last year in their national title race and chase, and it'll be fun.
Well, as you look at Bill Schaar right there and his numbers, 227 yards in the night, the 1 interception, which was very costly. Next week, the quarterback that we will see against the young freshman Alex Van Pelt, of course, will be Major Harris. Doesn't need a great deal of introduction. Pitt looking for a short or maybe an onside. It seems a bit early for that, but let's see. He kicks it away. Going to try to hit the hole on the left side. This is DeVoe. crosses the 25 and out to the 30-yard line. Oh, don't forget, coming up right after our game, it's the Residence Inn College Football Scoreboard Show. Bob Carpenter, Bino Cook, and Lee Corso as they wrap up Week 4 in college football. Well, what a game that young man has had. Alex Van Pelt, a redshirt freshman, transferred from West Virginia to San Antonio, Texas, to Churchill High School. His last couple of years, then came back and signed with Pitt. He's played like anything but a freshman this evening. Pitchback goes to Walker, wants to reverse his field, and that play will go for only one. DeRiggi and Alvin Brown combine of the stop. Going to be second down and long. Timeouts left in the ball game. The Orangemen have all 3.
Let's go! Let's go!
Mike Gottfried wanting his ball club to not linger in the huddle. The last thing they need is a 5-yard penalty. They fake the run. Van Pelt drills it long and incomplete. The closest man to it was Greg Walker. Now for a scoring update, here's Bob Carpenter. Bob.
All right, Ron, Michigan down 14-9 at UCLA, but that's about to change. Trip Welborn will break loose up the middle, break a tackle at midfield, and go 63 yards with a punt return. The Wolverines will then score on a Leroy Horde 1-yard run to take the lead with a point after coming up.
Now Michigan says, hey, we can do that return stuff too. The man who was down is Terry Wooden, All-American candidate out of Hartford, Connecticut. Very important man to the Syracuse defensive unit. You can see that he is favoring that right ankle.
Leading candidate, one of the leading candidates for the Butkus Award. A tribute really to Pitt's offenses that we haven't heard much from Wooden tonight. Or Burnett, Rob Burnett, the great defensive end from Syracuse. They've done a nice job neutralizing both of them. That is the man, Alex Van Pelt, talking. I wonder who he's talking to. Paul Atkins, the offensive coordinator.
Semi-long distance right upstairs are about 5 stories. The situation, it is third down Pitt. They need the 40-yard line. As you look at Hackett, he's the man, he can barely see the top of his head. Second from the left with the glasses on. They need the 40. It's third down. Panthers by 7. Complete over the middle to Reggie Williams. Not only a first down, about 15 more.
Dan Marino, remember Dan Marino at Pitt? This kid's a little heavy. He looks a little like Danny. Look at this throw. Oh, whoa! Did he drop that into the middle of his zone?
302 yards.
Oh.
Richards goes to the right side for a couple. DeRiggi, number 67, as a late marker, comes into the pile. Brett DeRiggi grabs him and knocks him down. The last time that a Pitt passer threw for over 1,500 yards as that penalty will go against Syracuse. John Conjimmy, 310 yards against Notre Dame, and that was back in 1986.
Dan Marino threw for 1,600 yards plus as a freshman, 10 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. And this man, Alex Van Pelt, 6th in the nation coming in passing efficiency. No interceptions in this game, and he has been absolutely brilliant no matter what his class is.
And we go under 3 minutes left in the ball game. The Panthers up by 7. Richards to the left side, maybe one. Don Busey. Well, we have seen numbers 55 and 59 all night long. Busey and Bavaro.
Dick McPherson said they will be there.
That's right.
That's what he said. We don't worry about our inside backers. They will be there, and they have been there all night.
Pittsburgh, you might notice, donning the black shoes this year. And a great story there. They couldn't make up their mind on what color they wanted, right?
Well, last year they wore white and blue shoes. And then Mike Gottfried gave him a choice, let him vote on it. They couldn't decide. He said, well, wear black shoes. And there was an uprising. He said, wear them.
Screen pass to the left side, and that's great defense on the part of Bavaro. Oh, my goodness. Dan has had a really great game tonight, as Carmen Richards is the man who caught the screen. There was nothing but gold helmets out there except one orange one, and that was Bavaro.
It really helps these guys to sit back. They're about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Look at him sitting, and now Bavaro sees it, and that's the thing. You need to have confidence when you see it. He beats the block because he knows what he's looking at. He gets there quick enough. The blocking doesn't get set up, and he makes the play. 11 tackles for Bavaro in this game tonight. Again, the two inside linebackers, Busey and Bavaro, 30 tackles last year against Pitt between them.
Van Pelt almost intercepted, and that's Whiteman, who came out of nowhere. He kind of floated that one a bit.
That was the freshman mistake right there. That was the first freshman mistake, and this is a beauty, let me tell you. Sideline pass, and that is a floater. Look at the nose of that ball sitting up there, and Whiteman, if he hadn't jumped a little early, he's gone down the sideline. We got a tie game, or maybe Syracuse with a 1-point lead.
Greenfield with his 4th punt of the night. Wobbly spiral. This is Greg Walker. Fumbles the ball at the 9, scrambles for it, and he is going to be tackled at the 11-yard line. Walker made the recovery, and I was just about to say he's a left footer. Sometimes it's extremely difficult to catch. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
The great games, the games to remember. 1957, Notre Dame's Fighting Irish snap Oklahoma's 47-game winning streak, and the Sporting News was there. 1987, Penn State caps a perfect season with a Fiesta Bowl win over Miami to take the national championship, and the Sporting News was there. Yes, wherever great games are played, the Sporting News is there for you, bringing you America's most complete coverage of football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. The Sporting News, where great things happen every week. Don't let them happen without you. Call now. Subscribe now at the lowest rate anywhere, with convenient delivery right to your door. Call 1-800-782-9500 and get 29 issues of the Sporting News for 4 payments of just $4.99. You'll save 69% off the cover price, 40% off the regular subscription rate. You can't get a better deal. Call now 1-800-782-9500. That's 1-800-782-9500.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is your ticket to football's hottest head-to-head rivalry. There's one great hit after another in a schedule jammed with key intra-divisional matchups. The all-pro team of Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann bring you the head-to-head excitement of one of sport's great rivalries as the Cowboys face the Redskins when Sunday Night NFL returns November 5th at 8 Eastern live on ESPN.
So here's the situation for that man and his football team. They're down by 7, 76, or let's make it 66 seconds left in the ball game. They have 3 timeouts left, but right now they're confronted with the worst field position that they have had to take over the ball all night at their own 11-yard line.
Now the difference in this Pittsburgh defense is they play more zone than they have in the past. They're not so much concerned with the big play. Let's see how they react now if they play soft and give them the underneath stuff.
Shar, under pressure, sets the screen to his fullback. It's Kinnan. Will have the first down, fights his way out to the 23-yard line as Prentice Wright, out of Orlando, Florida, a junior, is there to make the stop. Clock is under 1 minute.
2 deep zone on that play. They're giving them that. They come up and make the hit. They don't have time to go 10 yards at a time down the field. They're going to have to throw it downfield.
Pressure, drills the pass, it's complete at the 32 to Dees, and now they're going to say he trapped it. target, but that one was down low. 6'6", 250 pounds, only a sophomore.
Syracuse at their own 23.
Chris Gedney will check in the ball game as Dees will come out. Dumps it out. That's the fullback, Kinnan. Good open field stop by Bradley as he puts him down at the 29. And a timeout is being signaled across the way with 35 seconds left of the clock. So we'll take a break, and for Syracuse, the decision they have or what they have to come up with, a 3rd down and 5.
Fat chance. Finding a faucet made as well as a price fister. After all, it's the one made in its own USA foundry. The one uniquely fashioned with a heart of solid brass. Start to finish, the quality is first rate. Furthermore, the cost is a fraction of what you'd expect. So why fiddle around? Get a price fister. The fabulous faucet with a funny name.
If you're not watching movies on a Mitsubishi big screen television, you're missing the best part of the picture. Mitsubishi big screen TVs. Movies the way they were meant to be seen.
A while back, John Barricato went car shopping.
Take a couple of these. 3
He bought 10.
Any particular color, sir? Nah.
Then he did something really unusual.
Ready? Ready!
You see, John leads the arson team at Aetna, the company leading the fight against one of America's most expensive crimes. And if we can learn something, we don't mind burning a little cash today.
This is what you look for.
To save customers a bundle down the road.
We're gonna need more cars.
Coach Gottfried is now 35 seconds away from a ball club that he has not beaten here at Pittsburgh. In fact, Syracuse has won 5 straight over the Panthers.
And there's the Waterloo syndrome. Syracuse, Boston College, he took care of earlier in the year, 2 weeks ago. This would be his first win over Syracuse, and here at Pitt, they believe they must win this game to have a successful season.
This is 3rd down. They need the 33. Shar over the middle, complete to Cannon. Nope, he dropped it. On impact when he was hit, he dropped the football, and it was Gobb who laid the leather to him.
Tight end position has been a tough one here, and so is the fullback. These passes over the middle, couple have been dropped. That's a good hit by Gobb. The ball may have been recovered before he dropped it had Gobb not laid the wood to him. What they're doing here, Pitt is playing double zone now. They're doubling the wide receivers, Carpenter and Moore, and they're giving them that short underneath. 4th down, they need a 1st down or they need to go downfield with 28 seconds to go.
Here is the ball game. Shar on a quarterback draw will have the 1st down out to the 37-yard line.
Oh, that's a great call, a gutsy call.
23 ticks left on the clock.
1st and 10, Syracuse at their own 37-yard line.
Syracuse with 8 seconds left, and here's a number for you that is really hard to fathom against a really outstanding offensive line. That is 8 sacks for a loss of 67 yards by the Pitt defense tonight against the Syracuse Orangemen.
Well, we talked about it, didn't we? At the start of the game, we talked about beasts of the East and the defensive line of Pitt versus the offensive line of Syracuse. It really hasn't been any contest. 8 sacks for 67 yards. That defensive line of Pitt has really dominated this game, and the difference in the game really is their play. There have been some big plays, but the Syracuse offense has not been balanced and not been able to force the ball when they had to get in the end zone.
And to give more credit to Pitt and what they've done with the defensive front, it hasn't been just 1, 2, or 3 guys. They have spread the wealth between Hamilton, Spindler, Craig Gobb with a couple of huge plays, Syracuse, Tom Sims has been all over the place tonight, and Carney Smith.
And that backup unit also, they played brilliantly, and they're about 8 deep on the defensive line with outstanding plays.
Spindler, who is one of the real leaders on this ball club, and you can see him pacing the line and giving instructions to his teammates in the zone that they set. Well, they're playing center field. Riddick is all the way back to his own 45-yard line. 8 seconds left. Gonna go for it all, and it will be tipped and